Good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Put a confirm. Confirm if the
Yes,
live
sir.
stream.
Good evening.
Live stream. Yeah. Somebody please confirm if the live stream is working perfect.
It's working, sir. I've seen.
Thanks for that. All right. So let's get started. You know the lesson today, right? That is
Kandyan Kingdom.
Kandyan Kingdom. Yes. So let's get started straight away. Because we have a lot to talk about Kandyan Kingdom, and we will learn our lessons along the way, and we have some papers also to discuss. And yeah, that's the plan. I think next week is a poet day, is it? I didn't check my calendar yet.
Yes, sir.
So next Friday we are not having classes. So let's do some extra time today, and not this Monday, but next Monday or Tuesday, right? Not this coming Monday, but I will keep you informed in the groups. We will have a cover-up class on Monday or Tuesday in the evening. Okay. Anyway, the class will be recorded, so those who cannot attend should have to go through the recordings. Yeah, you have to make up for that time because we also need some extra classes, a couple of extra classes. We don't do extra classes all the time, right? Just a couple here and there. So you must be able to watch the recording. Okay, you must be able to find some time for this. Yeah, not every day, right? So try to make up some time, or maybe you can attend, right? If you don't have any other classes. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. Mostly in the extra classes, we will try to discuss theory parts mainly. Okay. Because papers I want to discuss when everybody is available. And we will try to discuss theory parts because theory parts, some of you can already cover from the tutes by watching recordings. Theory parts can be covered, and you can ask questions as well. When you have doubts and everything, you can always ask me in the groups any theory related doubts or anything like that. We are there to help you, and then your papers, your answers are being checked where based on my time availability. Today also I checked, I think, quite a few answers, and we will be checking those from time to time. Okay, so keep uploading your work, and we want let's focus on quality now, not quantity. Okay, like it doesn't matter, like even if you answered 100 questions, because not all of them are going to come in the exam, but we want to make sure that the few questions that you answer are answered very well, and you are taking those feedback seriously, and you are fixing those mistakes that you are committing in the future answers that you are writing. Okay, that is the key point here. It's not like you are writing, I'm checking, you are writing, I'm checking, and you are not improving. That is not how it works. And like the goal here is like by what I'm trying to achieve by checking your work is that you must be able to come to a level to work alone, right? You must be able to come to a level to criticize your own answer. Like, let's say you wrote an answer to an essay question, you must be able to read it, and you must be able to tell what shortcomings are there in that answer. That is the level that we are trying to bring you up to, self criticism, to that level. So once you have reached that level, you learn to fix your own mistakes. That is how you move forward, right? So that is why I told you to focus on quality, not quantity. It doesn't matter even if you answered 100 questions, even if you answered 10 questions. If you have learned something from those 10, that is what counts. Okay, not like you are answering a 200 questions and learn nothing, and your answers have not improved. That doesn't help. So use all the tools that are available to you in order to improve on your essay question answers. Okay, right. I joined classes today without joining the maths class because I needed Kandyan Kingdom. Yeah, I also need Kandyan Kingdom. I also love Kandyan Kingdom. Every year, this is the lesson that I'm waiting for. Kandyan Kingdom is my favorite lesson. My favorite lesson is also Kandyan Kingdom. So I've been like, every day, every year grade 10 and 11, I'm waiting to discuss this lesson because this is a fascinating one, right? There are many reasons why Kandyan Kingdom is important. Let me tell you those reasons, okay, before we start. There are no history papers in Sri Lanka. You can't see any history paper. Let it be O level, let it be A levels. A level also you can take history, right? Let it be in the universities, in the history faculties, like the arts faculties, where you can take history as a subject. There are no history papers, exam papers in this country without questions from Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, there will be questions from Kandyan Kingdom in any history paper in Sri Lanka, no matter the level, O level, A level, or university level. You know why? Because Kandyan Kingdom is the last kingdom that we had, right? Kandyan Kingdom is the last kingdom that existed in the country. And Kandyan Kingdom is the more modern kingdom because it existed like 200, it ended in 1815, like just a little more than 200 years ago. And it's more modern, and the lifestyle that we are having today, the traditions, the customs, the culture that we are following in Sri Lanka today, everything is related to Kandyan Kingdom and Kotte Kingdom. Okay, those two kingdoms are the last two kingdoms in our country. Kotte Kingdom also existed like little more than little like 400-500 years ago. Kotte Kingdom existed. Then Kandyan Kingdom existed until 1815. Okay, so this is like there's a saying that your present is a product of your recent past. The present is a product of your recent past. So whatever the changes that you went through the recent past is what will bring you to the present level today. For example, now let's take an example in our lives. Now, let's say you are lazy to go to school. Okay, you are lazy to go to school. But your past, let's say, go back to the beginning, grade 1, grade 2, you were so excited to go to school, right? You wake up, sometimes, you are the one who wakes up your mom when you're in grade 1 because you are so excited to go to school. You're so happy. You are the one who is taking the first step. But then what happened? Gradually, you start hating it, and then subjects like history also came up. Subjects that you start hating, difficult subjects started coming up, and then you started like somewhat, I'm telling about the average guy, right? Somewhat you started, waking up in the morning is very tough. Then, gradually, like go to grade 9, go to grade 10. Now you are a product of you in grade 9 and 10, not grade 1, right? Simple example, right? So you were not excited to go to school like you were in grade 1. Let's be frank, let's be honest here. Let's face the reality. Why? Because you are a product of your recent past, not your distant past. Same like that, a country's history is also like that, right? We are a product of the recent past that we had, like Kandyan Kingdom, Kotte Kingdom, the British administration that we were facing through. Like after the downfall of Kandyan Kingdom, it was the British who controlled us for more than 100 years until we got independence. And after independence also, we went through some changes. And those things are all, recent past, right? We are a product of the recent past, not the distant past. We are like trying to reflect on how we were during Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa Kingdom. You remember last week we spoke about this as well, right? Like the glory that we had and the turning points in our history. But we are not a product of that now. We would love to, revive that lost glory. We would love to go back to the Anuradhapura Kingdom, right? Like, I mean, that life would have been so great because, we were a powerful country back then. But we are not today. Why? Because our recent past is not good. Recent past is not like, as it used to be in the distant past. You understand what I'm saying? So that is why Kandyan Kingdom is important, because it is our recent past. Okay, and it's very important for us to learn what happened in our last kingdom. And basically the downfall of Kandyan Kingdom, like I said last week, the downfall of Anuradhapura Kingdom was a turning point. We were at a very low level. We hit the rock bottom with the downfall of Anuradhapura Kingdom, but we managed to come We managed to overcome that challenge and start a new kingdom, that is Polonnaruwa Kingdom. Then we hit the rock bottom once again with Kalingamaga's invasion, with the downfall of Polonnaruwa Kingdom. Then we managed to come back somewhat, not as strong as Polonnaruwa Kingdom, but somewhat we managed to bring our lost glory back in Dambadeniya Kingdom. Then gradually we also started kingdoms like Kandyan Kingdom, and Kandyan Kingdom also hit the rock bottom. Basically, Kandyan Kingdom was dissolved or discontinued in 1815. That was again one of our lowest points, and we are still trying to recover from that. Let me be very frank and let me be very straightforward here. So we as a country, I believe, my opinion is, like, from the downfall of Kandyan Kingdom, we are still trying to recover. We still have not recovered from the downfall of Kandyan Kingdom. So if Kandyan Kingdom had continued, if the British had never captured our country, our history would have been totally different. This is what I believe. This is my opinion. I believe you at the end of this lesson, you will also agree to some extent, right? So things would have been written differently. But yes, what had to happen happened, and what we can learn, we have to learn, and we have to move forward, right? So, I mean, a dark present. Let me be very clear. We are now, we are now going through a very dark period in our history. Basically, our present is we were at a very low level now as a country in the world. We don't have any respect or reputation in the world. These things we have to understand, but it doesn't mean that our future can't be bright, right? Our future can be bright. By understanding the mistakes that we did in the past, we can always make up for the future, right? Okay, so Kandyan Kingdom, like I said, was the last kingdom. Let me share the whiteboard to explain this better. The last kingdom in the country, and it started in about in the 1460s, okay, like in about 1469, I would say, okay. And during this time, Kotte Kingdom was also existing. Everybody can see the whiteboard, would they confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
right. So Kandyan Kingdom started parallel to the Kotte Kingdom. This is what we have to understand, okay. So during Kotte Kingdom, the upcountry areas were given to was given to a kind of a minister, like a noble person called Sena Sammata Vikramabahu. Sena Sammata Vikramabahu. Okay. So Sena Sammata Vikramabahu decided, okay, I'm going to start my own kingdom. I'm going to break away from Kotte Kingdom, and I'm going to start my own kingdom. And he starts his own kingdom in about, no need to remember these years, this is just for your information, in about 1464, 1469, right? So he names this kingdom as Kanda Udarata Rajadhani. Okay, so there are several names that we can use to call Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, so let's first learn that this is the first king of Kandyan Kingdom. This is the founder of Kandyan Kingdom. And there are 13, 14 kings who ruled Kandyan Kingdom. We are going to go through them briefly before we get into more details today. So 1.5 hours, hopefully, yeah, roughly 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 45 minutes will be dedicated for this discussion today before we get into the papers. Okay, Pute? Right. So here, Sena Sammata Vikramabahu starts this kingdom, and he names this Kanda Udarata Rajadhani. There are different names that are used to call Kandyan Kingdom. Okay. So Kanda Udarata Rajadhani, Kanda Udarata Rajadhani, or you can say Udarata Rajadhani. So Rajadhani means kingdom, Pute. Raja means king, right? So Rajadhani is kingdom. Kanda means the mountain. Udarata means upcountry. So Kanda Udarata Rajadhani, Kanda Udarata was also another name. Kande Nuwara was another name. Kande Nuwara, the city in the hills. Kande Nuwara was another name used to call Kandy. Okay, Kande Nuwara, Kanda Udarata Rajadhani. Then there was another name, Senkadagala Rajadhani. Senkadagala Rajadhani. More recently, Senkadagala Rajadhani. More recently, we use the word Mahanuvara Rajadhani. Okay. So different names were used to call Kandyan Kingdom. you can remember a couple of them, right? Kanda Udarata Rajdhani or Kandenuwara was another name for Kandy, the city of Kandy. The capital of Kandyan Kingdom was Kandy. And Senkadagala Rajdhani was widely used, especially towards the end of Kandyan Kingdom. Yeah, Senkadagala Rajdhani, for example, during the last king of Kandyan Kingdom, who was Sri Vikramarajasinghe Singha, we use the word Senkadagala Rajdhani more. And Mahanura Rajdhani also we used. When we are studying about history, we like to call Kandyan Kingdom as Mahanura Rajdhani because it's easy for us to remember. Even today, we are calling Kandy as Mahanura. That is the reason. Okay, Mahanura is what we use today to call Kandy, the city of Kandy. Okay, right. Okay, so there's something very special about this city. Okay, because this city, I mean, look at Senasamata Ikrambahu, he was a smart king. So he chose a city that is highly protected naturally. Okay, this is the beauty of Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, so let's say the city of Kandy is this, and the city of Kandy is almost surrounded by Mahavali River. Now, if an enemy wants to reach Kandy or enemy wants to capture Kandy, they have to cross Mahavali River. So Mahavali River provides protection to Kandyan Kingdom. Okay. This is the natural protection of Kandyan Kingdom, right? So this is city of Kandy. Right. Then we have two mountain ranges. One here, one here. Okay. This is the north, right? North here. Right. Everybody can see now, clear? Right. Everybody can see clearly, right? Okay. So this mountain range is Hantana, a very beautiful mountain range. Hantana mountain range, Hantana Kanduatiya. And then here we have Udavatta or Udavatta Calais. Sometimes the word Udavatta Calais is also used. So we will use Udavatta. Okay. So Udavatta mountain range and Hantana mountain range, right? And then here in this area we have a mountain pass that you can go through to reach Kandy. And that pass is called Balana. And Hunnasgiri is somewhere here. Hunnasgiri, another mountain pass. Okay. Hunnasgiri. So Kandyan Kingdom, or the city of Kandy itself, is a highly naturally protected location. That is one of the main reasons why many invaders or many enemies could not reach Kandy. It was extremely difficult for the enemies to reach Kandy during invasions. All thanks mainly to the natural protection of Kandyan Kingdom. So all thanks to Senasamata Ikrambahu for choosing this location because it was a strategic location where maximum protection can be was guaranteed when you chose this location, right? So one side we have Mahavali River providing protection to Kandy. On the other side we have two mountain ranges almost surrounding Kandy, Hantana and Udavatta Calais or Udavatta. And then there are only two mountain passes that you can use to reach Kandy. That is Balana and Hunnasgiri. Okay. So basically Balana, what is a mountain pass with it? You know, there are many like mountains, right? Like mountain rings, like we call them mountain ranges. Okay. So many mountains. So through those so many mountains, there will be flat areas. Like two mountains will be like this, like reaching the ground level. Okay. Just like that. So you can go through this one. This is what we call a mountain pass. Oh, otherwise, if you don't have roads, those days, we didn't have roads to reach Kandy. Today we have the Colombo Kandy road. Thanks to the British, they built it. So, but before that, there were no roads to reach Kandy. But there were only passes that you can use to reach Kandy. The road system was very poor, right? And also it's very difficult to make roads in the mountains. And you can't let's say, for example, an army is trying to reach Kandy. You cannot reach Kandy like that, right? Like, I mean, there are a lot of, the rocks and, the steep hills and everything in a mountain range. You can't literally climb a mountain like this and descend with an army or with a lot of equipment. Okay. All you can do is find a mountain pass to go through. So this pass, there are only few passes to reach Kandy. Okay. That is Balana Pass and Hunnasgiri Pass. Okay. So those are two passes that can be used to reach Kandy from other areas in the country. Okay. So that is what a mountain pass is. And also these mountain passes are also very dangerous, because, if an army is basically trying to go through a mountain pass, the enemy army will be waiting for you, right? Hiding, right? Just after the mountain pass, when you reach the mountain pass, you will get ambushed. So a mountain pass is a narrow pass that you have to use to get from one side to the another side in a mountain range. Okay, so Kandyan city itself, or basically Kandyan Kingdom, is a naturally protected kingdom surrounded by mountains, like I said. Okay, so let me repeat again. Mahavali River. Okay, how Kandyan Kingdom is naturally protected? Mahavali River is providing protection to Kandy because it's almost like surrounding Kandyan Kingdom, like on three sides maybe. And then Hantan and Udavatta mountain ranges surrounding the city of Kandy. And you only have two mountain passes to reach Kandy. Those are Balana Pass and Hunnasgiri passes. Got it, everybody? Yeah. So the names for Kandyan Kingdom were discussed. Tell me a few names used to call Kandyan Kingdom.
Kandinuvara
Kandinuvara, yes.
Mahanuvara Rajdhani.
Kandy
Kandaudurata, yes. Kandaudurata Rajdhani. Mahanuvara Rajdhani. Senkatagala Nuvara or Senkatagala Rajdhani. So the city of Kandy, you can say Senkatagala Nuvara. The kingdom of Kandy, you can say Senkatagala Rajdhani. Okay, I believe everybody got this point. Okay, now let's come to the kings. Let's not waste time today because we have a lot of things to discuss. And let's come to the list of kings. Everybody can see the list of kings. These are all in the tute. And I recently updated the tute for grade 10 guys. And I have uploaded the same updated tute in your revision folder. Okay. So these tutes are getting updated today all the time. So you have to be watchful, especially, in the revision class, we share these updated tutes. Every year I'm updating a few tutes, when I feel like, certain things need to be added or certain unwanted things need to be trimmed and stuff like that. We do that, right? Okay. So this is the full list of kings who ruled Kandyan Kingdom. Can you all see, Bhute, confirm?
Yes, sir.
Can see, right? Okay, right. Okay. Now you see, I already told you who started Kandyan Kingdom, Bhute, here. This is Senasamata Vikramabahu. Now, talking about Senasamata Vikramabahu, he is the first king who started Kandyan Kingdom. Now, let me go through these kings quickly and their relationships that they had with each other. And there's one thing very important about Senasamata Vikramabahu, apart from him being the first king of Kandy. That is, during Senasamata Vikramabahu's time, the first European nation came to Sri Lanka. That is in 1505. Senasamata Vikramabahu was in power from about 1469 to 1511, 1510, 1511. So during this time, you can see 1505, the Portuguese, the first European nation, came to Sri Lanka directly. The Portuguese came to Sri Lanka during the time of the first king of Kandy, Senasamata Vikramabahu. Okay, so in the next lesson, in lesson number 10, we will talk about Portuguese in detail. Okay, like who are the kings who ruled the country when they landed here. One such king who ruled our country in Kandyan area was Senasamata Vikramabahu. Okay, when the Portuguese landed in Sri Lanka, there were 3 kingdoms in Sri Lanka. We will talk about that in our lesson number 10. Okay, right. So after Senasamata Vikramabahu ruled for about 40 years. And after Senasamata Vikramabahu, his son came to power, who is Jayavira Bandara. Jayavira Bandara also ruled the country for about 40 years. And there's something very special about Jayavira Bandara. It was during Jayavira Bandara's time, a very important event happened in Kotte Kingdom. That happened in 1521, Pute. And this event is called Vijayaba Kolle. Okay, so Vijayaba Kolle happened in Kotte Kingdom during the time of Jayavira Bandara in Kandy. So Jayavira Bandara also had a part to play in Vijayaba Kolle. Okay, so we will talk about Vijayaba Kolle in unit number 10. Okay, when we are discussing about the Portuguese arrival and about Kotte Kingdom. Okay, so remember, Jayavira Bandara was involved in Vijayaba Kolle. Vijayaba Kolle happened in Kotte Kingdom. Vijayabha Kolle was basically about King Vijayabha VI and his children, his three princes mainly. And the three princes went against their father and seized the power in Kotte Kingdom. This is what we call Vijayabha Kolle. And during this siege, Jayavira Bandara took the side of the three princes against King Vijayabha VI of Kotte. That involvement we will discuss in detail in unit number 10. Okay, I'm not trying to discuss about Kotte Kingdom here, right? Okay, so Jayavira Bandara had a part to play in this event. Okay, right. Now what you can understand from this? 40 years of ruling Sena Samata Ikrambahu, 40 years for Jayavira Bandara. Father 40 years, son 40 years. What can you understand? Yes, tell me.
Same period.
Strong ruling period.
Same period. Strong kings. Is that what you understand? Yes? Stable
Yes.
rule.
Yes.
Stable kingdom. Stable politics. Political situation of Kandyan Kingdom is very stable at the beginning. Because one king ruling for 40 years means until his death, literally. Yeah, technically until his death. Normally these kings ruled until their last time. So you can understand from that, right? Like father ruled for 40 years, son also ruled for 40 years. So these might be very strong kings. And also the political situation in Kandy was very stable. That is why we had single kings ruling for very long periods. Otherwise, you remember what happened to Polonnaruwa Kingdom? Last week we discussed. Within 29 years, there were 12 rulers. Some of them ruled only 1 year, 2 years, maximum 9 years, like that. So you can compare, what we learned last week with this one, right? You can understand, okay, at the beginning, Kandyan Kingdom was a very stable kingdom, okay? Not until King Karaledde Bandara came to power, right? So after Jayavira Bandara, his son came to power as Karaledde Bandara. I told you in 1505, the Portuguese had arrived in the country. You know, the Portuguese had two ambitions, two objectives when they came to Asia or even Sri Lanka. The main ambition was to expand their economic activities or to expand their trade by taking control the trade in the region from the Arabs. That is their main objective. And the second objective that they had was to spread their religion, which is Roman Catholicism. Okay, so they started spreading their religion in our country as well. And Karaledde Bandara became a good friend of Portuguese and he converted to Christianity. Or he embraced Roman Catholicism. So when Karaledde Bandara embraced Roman Catholicism at the invitation of the Portuguese, Kandyan Kingdom started shaking. Why? Because the people of Kandy would not support this, right? Sri Lanka is predominantly a Buddhist country from the time period of King Devanampiyathissa. So when the king embraced another religion, it was a big problem for the majority Buddhists in the country. Why? Because they are now scared about their religion. Now they are scared that the king would not support the temples, the king would not sponsor the temples or the religion. Our culture would go downhill, and then our religion, nobody will be able to take care of the religion and culture. These worries started basically, going through the minds of Kandyan people. Not only Kandyan people, Pute, the leaders of Kandy also started worrying so much when Karaledde Bandara converted to Roman Catholicism. Okay, so this was a problem. So there was a minister in Karaledde Bandara's government. That is Veerasundara Bandara. Veerasundara Bandara was a minister. Veerasundara Bandara was a nobleman. He was an aristocrat. We use these words, different words interchangeably. Aristocrat, elite, noble, chieftain. All these are a group of people who are close to the king, who hold high positions in the government. So Veerasundara Bandara was one of those ministers. Veerasundara Bandara. So what Veerasundara Bandara did, he went against Karaledde Bandara. He approached Rajasingha I from Sitavaka Kingdom. Okay, Sitavaka Kingdom. Kotte Kingdom after Vijayabha Kolle got separated into several kingdoms. One of those kingdoms were Sitavaka kingdoms, and Rajasingha I was the king back then in Sitavaka Kingdom. And Rajasingha I was against the Portuguese. Okay, so Veerasundara Bandara didn't like the Portuguese. Why? Because Karaledi Bandar now converted to Catholicism, right? And also the Portuguese were looking to invade Kandyan Kingdom as well. Okay. So Veerasundara Bandara had a deal with Rajasingha the First. Veerasundara Bandara said, look, there's an opportunity in Kandyan Kingdom. If you want to capture Kandyan Kingdom, now is the best time, because people don't like the king anymore because he changed his religion, and now we are scared that our religion, our culture, everything would go downhill, right? So because of that, we are looking to replace our king, and let's team up. You have all my support. Who said? Veerasundara Bandara said, if you are invading Kandy. So Rajasingha the First also was looking for an opportunity to invade Kandy. He is also a king who is very much against the Portuguese. So Veerasundara Bandara supported Rajasingha the First to invade Kandy. Okay, so this invasion happened in 1589, like 1580s, we can say. Yeah, so no need to remember the years. Okay, once again, yeah, it's fine. So Rajasingha the First invaded Kandyan Kingdom with the help of Veerasundara Bandara. Understand, everybody? So what happened to Karalede Bandara? Now Karalede Bandara fled. To whom you think? Yeah, for protection.
To Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly, because because he is now a Catholic, and he is a friend of the Portuguese. So he had no choice but to run and seek protection from the Portuguese. So what happened to Karalede Bandara? He abandoned the city, he gave up his throne, and he went to the Portuguese to save his life, and he fled to the Portuguese. Now the Portuguese are protecting him, right? Now Karalede Bandara did not run alone. Karalede Bandara took his daughter with him, who is Kusumasana Devi. And Karalede Bandara also took his nephew, who is also his son-in-law, with him, who was Yamasingha Bandara. Okay, so Yamasingha Bandara and Kusumasana Devi. Kusumasana Devi, you take your notes if you have to. So Kusumasana Devi, his daughter, Yamasingha Bandara, his nephew, also his son-in-law. Kusumasana Devi was married to him. So they all fled to the Portuguese for protection. Now there's a condition for giving protection by the Portuguese. Now the Portuguese can give you protection if you are a Catholic. If you are a Buddhist, the Portuguese don't have a valid point to give you protection, right? So what happens, like according to standard practice, according to standard tradition, what the Portuguese would do, they would baptize Yamasingha Bandara and Kusumasana Devi. Okay, so Kusumasana Devi was baptized and converted to Christianity and was given the new name Dona Katharina, and Yamasingha Bandara was given a new name after baptizing, who is Don Philip. Okay, so that is what happened during this scenario. The basics, I'm just teaching you the basics here so you can remember. Everybody understand up to now? Yes?
Yes,
Now who is ruling Kandyan? Yes. Who is ruling Kandyan Kingdom? Rajasingha the First. Rajasingha the First invaded Kandyan Kingdom, and now he is ruling Kandyan Kingdom from Sitavaka Kingdom. Okay, so what he did, he joined Kandyan Kingdom to Sitavaka Kingdom. We call it annexing. Okay, when you are invading some area, you call it annexing. So you annex the new area to your existing area. So Rajasingha the First is also called Sitavaka Rajasingha because he is a king from Sitavaka Kingdom. Now he annexed Kandyan Kingdom to his kingdom and started ruling both the kingdoms. Okay, so now what happens? After some time, there problems started happening between Rajasingha the First and Veerasundara Bandara. Rajasingha the First was suspicious about Veerasundara Bandara, wanting to take over Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, so Veerasundara Bandara might have had plans as well after some time to kick Rajasingha the First out and take over Kandyan Kingdom. And this was kind of known by Rajasingha the First, and the result was Rajasingha the First killing Veerasundara Bandara. Okay, so the very same person who helped him take the kingdom was killed. In politics, there are no permanent friends. When it comes to politics and power, even problems are there between brothers, between the same family members. Who is Veerasundara Bandara and Rajasingha the First, right? Yeah, we understand they helped each other, but You know what I mean? Politics is like that, you know. I mean, when power comes into picture, when power and money gets involved, you know, in modern days, money also gets involved. Sometimes, you know, relations also get, you know, into scuffles over money and property. We see that, right? And over power, especially, you know, those days. I mean, even fathers and sons, they went to war because of power, right? You need to understand and you need to take the lessons from those. So there's no surprise in Rajasingha the first having problems with Veerasundara Bandara. Then Veerasundara Bandara was killed, unfortunately. And now this was a turning point. What happened when Veerasundara Bandara was killed? All the Kandyan people turned against Rajasingha the first. Rajasingha the first also lost the support of Kandyan people with the killing of Veerasundara Bandara. Why? Because nobody would love their leader getting killed, right? Veerasundara Bandara is a prominent, respected leader in Kandyan Kingdom. He was a former minister in Kandyan Kingdom. So when Veerasundara Bandara was killed, Rajasingha the first lost all the support of Kandyan people. Okay, so there was a power vacuum here. And there's another thing that happened. Veerasundara Bandara had a son who was Konappu Bandara. Now, when Veerasundara Bandara was killed, Konappu Bandara thought, okay, next is going to be me because I'm also having a lot of respect in Kandy. So they might kill me as well. So I'm going to escape. So Konappu Bandara also escaped. Where do you think? To the Portuguese. Yes. Konappu Bandara also fled to the Portuguese because he didn't have any choice. Because he might be the next target, right? So Veerasundara Bandara, sorry, Konappu Bandara escaped. And you know, the standard practice, that is when the Portuguese, okay, when you are going for protection, when you are asking protection of the Portuguese would say, yeah, please come. Yeah, they would embrace you, but baptized. Okay. So Konappu Bandara was converted to Christianity as well. And he was given a new name, Don Juan. Okay, Don Juan. Don John is also another version of this name. Some books call it that way, right? Okay, Don Juan is the new name, let's say like that, right? Don Juan is what was given, what was the baptized name of Konappu Bandara. Okay, so now how many people with the Portuguese? Konappu Bandara also with them. So what is the name of Yamasingha Bandara? New name?
Don Philip.
Don Philip. Kusumasana Devi? Dona Katrina. Konappu Bandara, Don Juan. Right.
Don Juan.
Now there's a big power vacuum in Kandy. Now the Portuguese thought, okay, Rajasingha the first lost the support of Kandyan people. Now Kandyan people were ready to welcome anybody now because, you know, they hate Rajasingha the first now, right? So Kandyan people were like, we don't know what to do. We don't have a choice. So Polgediak Genavat, they are ready to accept, right? Like it was like that, yeah. Bring a coconut shell, Pollellak Genavat, no problem, yeah, that can be the president, or that can be the, you know, that can be our king, something like that. So Kandyan people were at crossroads. Kandyan people were on the fence now. They don't know what to do. You know, they thought, they thought kicking out Karaledde Bandara would be nice. Bringing Rajasingha the first, but Rajasingha the first killed their own leader, who was Veerasundara Bandara. Now you don't know what to do. Everything that you try to do has failed. So there was a power vacuum in Kandyan Kingdom. So what happened? The Portuguese, they took the advantage of this situation. And they said, okay, this is the best time that we capture the power in Kandy. So in order to do that, let's send a leader from Kandy. Let's send somebody from the royal family in Kandy. Who? This time Yamasingha Bandara. Okay. The Portuguese decided, Yamasingha Bandara, you go take the throne in Kandy. You will have the support because you are from the royal family. Kusumasana Devi, you also go. Right? Konappu Bandara, you also go because you are the son of Veerasundara Bandara and you have the support of Kandyan people. You are well respected in Kandy. So you support Yamasingha Bandara. You all go and get the throne. And the Portuguese plan was like, puppet ruling, right? So appointing Yamasingha Bandara as the king, and the Portuguese will have some influence, right, over him. So Yamasingha Bandara would listen to the Portuguese, right? So this was the plan of the Portuguese. Now Yamasingha Bandara was brought to power briefly in Kandyan Kingdom. The people were kind of silent. People allowed it to happen. People did not go to war. Leaders also didn't know what to do, so they allowed it. But unfortunately, Yamasingha Bandara's time was very limited. He caught a fever and he died, right? he died before his time. So then the Portuguese plan was to bring his son, who is a very little baby infant, to power, symbolically, and then they can have their military rulers running the country. This was the plan. And then they brought Kusumasana Devi also briefly to power, and that was their plan as well. So what happened here? Before this plan could settle down, Konapu Bandara decided, okay, we can't let the Kandyan Kingdom go into the Portuguese like this, because they are planning to establish a puppet ruling, and this is what they are planning to do. So before this can materialize, before they can settle down, I am going to do something. So what Konapu Bandara did, he seized the power before the Portuguese could settle down. Everything, plans and everything went out of the window when Konapu Bandara decided, okay, I'm going to go against the Portuguese and I'm going to capture Kandyan Kingdom. I'm going to capture the power of Kandyan Kingdom. Konapu Bandara had the support of Kandyan people more than Yamasingha Bandara and Kusumasana Devi. Understand, everybody? Yes? So Konapu Bandara seized the power in Kandy and became the king as Wimaladharmasuriya I. Now, this is the turning point in Kandyan Kingdom. So, this is the first dynasty, Sena Sammata Yuknabhav, Jayavir Bandara, Karaleddi Bandara, from the same family. Rajasingha the first, from a different kingdom. He was an invader, basically. And Yamasingha Bandara ruled briefly, and you can't even count him here. But Wimaladharmasuriya I started a new dynasty in Kandyan Kingdom, who is the son of Veerasundara Bandara. Now, from this one itself, you should be able to understand Wimaladharmasuriya I, or Konapu Bandara before, had a problem, right, when he came to power. Why? Because he is not a relative. He is not a member of the royal family. That is the biggest challenge that he had to face. Okay, Veerasundara Bandara's son. Veerasundara Bandara is a minister. He was not a royal. He was not a family member in the royal family. He was only a minister. He was a powerful person. That's a different story. But you can't be a king like that in Sri Lanka. Okay. To be a king in Sri Lanka from the ancient times, even including Kandyan Kingdom, you have to fulfill 3 prerequisites. You have to fulfill 3 criterias if you want to be a king of this country. The first criteria you have to fulfill is you have to be a member of the royal family. You need to have a connection to the royal family. In the books we see farmers can also be kings, but I don't know any farmer who became a king. Let's be very frank and honest. That is out of respect for the farmers. You have these kind of things in the books, but you need to be a member of the royal family. Okay. Let's say you are a farmer, but you married a queen. You married somebody from the royal family, then you can. You need to have a connection to the royal family. Otherwise, what will happen is everybody will be kings. Now, I can easily be a king, right? In that way, right? I'm not a member of the royal family, but I can easily be like that. Everybody will start fighting each other, right? To be kings. So not everybody can be kings, right? I mean, let's be very straightforward here. Like when we are talking about leadership also, it's, many people will be like, I mean, oh, okay, everybody should be able to be a king, and okay, everybody cannot be kings, right? And also, just imagine, take your classroom, for example. Okay, let's say they are introducing a new project in school, and they are coming to your class and asking for a leader. Okay, who would love to help in this project? Who would love to take the leadership in this project? Nobody would get up, right? You understand the Sri Lankan typical mentality, right? Very scared to lead. Yeah. So when there's somebody to lead, you scold them. This guy is not doing properly. And okay, you go and take that. No, you are scared to go there. You are scared to take the responsibility, but you are there to criticize. You like to criticize. This guy is not doing properly, and this guy is coming from this family, and blah blah. You tell all the rubbish that you can tell, but you are not ready to take the responsibility. when somebody is taking responsibility, you have 100 things to say. Yeah, you understand typical Sri Lankan mentality. Okay, so the leaders were there, right? Okay, that is the tradition, right? You have to be a member of the royal family. You have to be a member of the previous leaders if you want to be a king. Fair enough for a royal dynasty, right? For a kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem here is I told you I was at the criterias, right? So let me continue from there. The main criteria that you have to accomplish or meet is you have to be a member of the royal family. Okay, that is the main criteria. The second criteria is you have to be a Buddhist. If you are a Catholic, because the majority of the country is Buddhist, like 80%, 90% people are Buddhists. So they would not accept any a person from another religion as their king. Why? Because obviously they're scared that the king would not upkeep the tradition, the customs, the culture, the religion, and everything. So that is there. So to get the support of the people, you have to be a Buddhist. Second criteria. The third criteria is you need to have the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha under your protection. Dalada Karanduwa කියලා කියන්නේ Dalada වහන්සේ කියලා කියන්නේ. So today it's in Kandy, in Dalada Maligav in Kandy. So that had to be under the protection of the new ruler. So if you can meet the three criterias, people, and not only people, we are talking about the chieftains here, we are talking about the nobles here, the leaders in the society, ministers in the government, they would all accept you as the king if you meet those three criterias. Understand everybody, Budhe? Yeah. So what Wimaladharmasuriya the first, when he came to power, he had many challenges. That is, he is not the legal king now in Kandy. Even though he sees the power in Kandy, he is not legal. He is illegal. Why? Because he is not a member of the royal family. So then the second one is he is Don Juan. He is not Konapu Bandara now. He is Don Juan. He is a Catholic. The second challenge. And the third challenge is he did not have the Dalada Karandu or the sacred tooth relic with him. The third challenge. Okay. So in order to be the legal king in Kandy, he faced three challenges. That is, he was not a Buddhist. He was not a member of the royal family. He also did not have under him the Dalada Karanduwa or the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha. That is the most important relic for the Buddhists in the country. Yeah. So he overcame those three challenges. How? He married Kusumasana Devi. Kusumasana Devi agreed and he married basically. Then Kusumasana Devi is a member of the royal family. Kusumasana Devi is who? The daughter of a previous king, Karaledde Bandar. She is a member of the royal family. So by marrying Kusumasana Devi, he proved to the people that he is also a member of the royal family. That problem is solved. Then the second problem, his name is Don Juan. He is a Catholic. So he converted to Buddhism. He embraced Buddhism again. And he changed his name to a Buddhist name, which is Wimaladharmasuriya. Okay, so he overcame that challenge as well. And another challenge he faced was bringing the sacred tooth relic under his protection. The sacred tooth relic, because of these problems that Kandyan Kingdom was going through, was hidden in a place called Delgamu, in Delgamu Vihare. Okay, so he found it, he brought it to Kandy. He is the one who built Dalada Maligav in Kandy. Okay, today we have Dalada Maligav in Kandy. No? It was first built by King Wimaladharmasuriya I. So he's the one who built it. Not the front part. The front part, you see, the Pattiripu, we call it the beautiful, that octagon shaped part. That part was built later, but the main house was built by King Wimaladharmasuriya I. Okay, so he's the one who built it. So you know how important King Wimaladharmasuriya I is for Kandyan Kingdom, right? So that was a new beginning for Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, so he overcame those challenges and became the legal king of Kandy. He also faced several other challenges when he came to power. That is, there were problems from the Portuguese. The Portuguese now, who were kind of defeated, they couldn't accomplish their goals, right? So they were looking to invade Kandy and they attacked Kandy. So Wimaladharmasuriya I had to keep the Portuguese at bay. So he faced the challenge of the Portuguese. He faced battles like the Battle of Balana, Battle of Danture. Battle of Danture happened first. Battle of Balana next. And defeated the Portuguese in those battles. Okay. And then the Kandyan economy was at a very low situation, very deteriorated state. So what King Wimaladharmasuriya I did to uplift the Kandyan economy, He sponsored agriculture. He also encouraged cotton cultivation. Then he also said, like, the iron and steel industry should be developed. We had a very good iron industry those days. You remember when we discussed unit number 2, unit number 5, we spoke about iron leaching technology that was there in Sri Lanka. So it was there. And then in Kotmale and Valapane mainly, there was this iron and steel industry. So he took steps to uplift the iron and steel industry as well. And then another industry that he focused his attention was the niter industry. Niter means it's signaling vedilunu. It's an ingredient in the gunpowder. So you want gunpowder as well to fight the Portuguese and all. So he also encouraged the niter industry as well. Okay, so those things he did to uplift the economy. And uplifting religion, he took several steps as well. He brought Upasampada from Burma. He brought monks from Burma. And then he also repaired all the broken temples, like the abandoned temples or broken temples were repaired. And Dalada Maliga was also established for the first time by him. So those are some of the things that happened during King Wimaladharmasuriya I. So many things to digest, but you will go through, you'll take the notes and be ready for this. Everybody got it, Pude? Yes?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So this is a very important king because there might be essay questions asking to explain about King Wimaladharmasuriya I. Okay. Right. After King Wimaladharmasuriya I, Pude, his cousin brother came to power. Some say that it is his own brother, but the widespread theory is that it was his cousin brother. Because when Wimaladharmasuriya I died, his children were very, very young. They were not ready to take up the throne. So his cousin brother had to come to power, who is King Senarath. Okay. So what happened with King Senarath? Even King Senarath faced the same challenge of Wimaladharmasuriya I because he is also not from a royal family. Okay. He is also not from a royal family. So what happened here is that King Wimaladharmasuriya I had his widowed queen, right? Kusumasana Devi is now a widow, right? No husband. So King Senarath, Kusumasana Devi agreed to support King Senarath so that he can become the legal king. So they married. Okay. King Senarath married the widow queen of Wimaladharmasuriya I. And that is how King Senarath became a legal king of Kandy. Okay. King Senarath was another very strong ruler in Kandy. It was during the time of King Senarath, the Battle of Randenivele took place in 1630, where a great defeat was, given to the hands of the Portuguese, right? The Portuguese were defeated in the Battle of Randenivele in Badula district. So this happened during the time of King Senarath. And King Senarath and Kusumasana Devi had a son. That is the youngest one. He was called Mahasthana, Prince Mahasthana. And he later became the king as Rajasingha II. Okay, after King Senarath. Everybody got it, Pude? Yeah, we are going a little fast now. We are focusing on the important points.
Yes.
Okay, so once we have discussed these kings, we will go for a break. Okay, right. So after King Senarath, Rajasingha II came to power. Rajasingha II is a very smart king. I'm not telling the full story here. You can go through our old recordings and all to understand the full story. But what you need to remember, I'm teaching you. Okay, right. So Rajasingha II came to power after King Senarath. Now this time, Bude, Rajasingha II was a very strong king, and he was determined to kick the Portuguese out of the country. Okay, so nobody could do it up to now. Wimaladharmasuriya I managed to keep the Portuguese at bay. He saved Kandyan Kingdom from Portuguese invasions. King Senarath also did that. But Rajasingha II decided, okay, I'm going to keep a stop. I'm going to keep a full stop to this Portuguese headache. They're always wanting to invade us. The Portuguese always wanted to invade the whole country. Kandyan Kingdom was the only standing kingdom when Rajasingha II was in power. There was only Kandyan Kingdom and the Portuguese in our country. All other kingdoms were captured by the Portuguese by that time. So Rajasingha II was the surviving one and Kandyan Kingdom. So he wanted to save, his plan was to bring the whole country under one flag or under one rule. So with that in mind, he signed a deal with the Dutch, who came from Holland. So the deal was to kick the Portuguese out and replace the Portuguese by kicking them out, right? Like by expelling them, right? We don't write words like kicking them out in the paper, right? But we are just, when we are explaining, we just write this, right? Okay. So Rajasingha the second signed an agreement with the Dutch in 1638 in order to expel the Portuguese, and then the Dutch started fighting the Portuguese and they kicked the Portuguese out completely. By 1658, it took about 20 years even for the Dutch to kick the Portuguese out of the country completely. The Portuguese were strong as well, right? We need to understand that. The Dutch were stronger, but it still took like 20 years. Okay. So what happened here? Rajasingha II did a great service, replaced the Portuguese, but now this time the Dutch would not go. The Dutch would not listen to Rajasingha II. That was a problem that he faced. But overall, the relationship was okay. There were some problems between the Dutch and the Kandyan Kingdom. There were some scuffles, there were some fights. But overall, the Dutch decided, okay, after 1670, the Dutch decided, okay, we are going to follow a friendly policy towards Kandyan Kingdom. Rajasingha II also agreed, okay, now you can't replace the Dutch because the Dutch are even stronger than the Portuguese, so I don't have a choice. But we will stay like this. But still, I'm not bowing to them. But the Dutch were like, let's follow a friendly policy. Why? Because Rajasingha II is very strong. We don't want to go to war with him and make losses. So we don't want that. We don't want this. So let's continue following a peaceful policy. Okay, we will talk about that in unit number 10 a little in detail. Okay, right. So after Rajasingha II Pute, Wimaladharmasuriya II came to power. Now Rajasingha II's son was Wimaladharmasuriya II. Now Wimaladharmasuriya II is very special. Why? Because he was the best friend of the Dutch. This time, Wimaladharmasuriya II was very close friends with the Dutch. So there was no fights between the Dutch and Kandyan Kingdom during the time of Wimaladharmasuriya II. Okay. And when we did not have enough monks in Sri Lanka, to keep the Buddha Sasana from functioning, to keep Buddhism from functioning smoothly, we did not have enough monks. So during this time, Wimaladharmasuriya II asked the Dutch for help. We need some ships because we need to bring some educated monks from Burma, from Myanmar. Today we call it Myanmar. Those days we called it Burma. So the Dutch provided him the necessary ships, and the ships sailed to Burma and brought monks, senior educated monks from Burma, and educated the monks in Sri Lanka, like by holding the Upasampada ceremony. Okay, Upasampada ceremony is a ritual, is a religious ceremony, which is basically held to promote junior monks to senior monks. Okay, that is a religious festival of the Buddhists, especially the monks, Buddhist monks, where a junior monk is promoted to senior monk. Okay, so only senior monks can perform certain rituals, right? Like, you have other religions also have the same thing, right? Like you have brothers and fathers in the church, and you have like assistants and ayers in the kovil, and you have alims, and like you have hafiz and alim in the mosque. Same like that, you have junior monks and senior monks. Junior monks, we call them samanera. Senior monks, we call them bhikshu, right? So junior monks are called upasampadawa nolabu bhikshun vanse. Then senior monks we call upasampada lat or upasampada level. They have attained this thing called upasampada, right? Upasampada labu bhikshun vanse, right? So that is junior and senior. That is the difference between junior monks and senior monks. So we need to have senior monks to promote junior monks to senior monks. Like, for example, I passed my O levels, I did my degree. That is why I can teach you, right? If I'm in grade 9, can I teach O levels? I cannot, right? I have to come to a level to be able to teach. So let's say, for example, if you have a degree, you can teach in university. If you don't have a degree, you can't go and teach in university, right? So like that, right? So if you need to be a senior monk in order to promote a junior monk to senior. If you are a black belt, you can give a black belt in karate, for example. If you are a black belt, you can promote another guy to another belt, right? Or if you are a brown belt, you can't give a black belt to another guy, right? Brown belt is lower than the black belt. Understand what I'm saying? So like that, okay? So when we didn't have enough monks, we used to bring senior monks from countries like Burma or Thailand. Vice versa, okay? When they didn't have, we also had sent in the past, okay? Why? Because we follow the same type of Buddhism, which is called Theravada Buddhism, okay? These countries, especially Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, follow the same segment of Buddhism, okay? Right. So that happened under Wimaladharmasuriya II. What you need to remember, mainly bringing Upasampada with the help of the Dutch from Burma, which is called Myanmar today, and following a friendly policy towards the Dutch, or being good friends with the Dutch. Not only that, but during Wimaladharmasuriya II. Now, Wimaladharmasuriya II was not like his father. He was okay, but not as strong as his father. Okay, so because of that, the aristocrats in Kandy, the people in Kandy, not the people, I mean the leaders in Kandy, they became a little powerful. Okay, during his time. It started during Rajasingha II's time itself. These aristocrats, the chieftains, the leaders in Kandyan society are kind of, like getting their own powers now. Like, not listening 100% to the king, something like that. They sometimes act on their own, right? Not totally obedient to the king. So this trend continued during Wimaladharmasuriya II, and they became a little more powerful because Wimaladharmasuriya II was not strong as Rajasingha II, his father. But nevertheless, Wimaladharmasuriya II managed to hold on to the country. He did not give any areas to the Dutch, or he did not have any problems in the country. The political situation was stable in Kandyan Kingdom. But what we need to understand is the aristocrats are now getting a little powerful. Okay. So now what happened? After Wimaladharmasuriya II, Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singha came to power. Look at the length of the name. Let me explain. So only the name is long and strong, not the king, unfortunately. Okay. Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra. Look at the like the glory of the name, right? But only the name Pute, unfortunately. He was one of the weakest kings who ruled Kandyan Kingdom. He was the son of Wimaladharmasuriya II, and Sri Veeraparakrama Narendra Singha came to power. During his time, aristocrats became even powerful. They already started getting powerful during Wimaladharmasuriya II, but this time Sri Veeraparakrama Narendra Singha did not have any knowledge about administration. He let everything loose. Understand what I'm saying? So then the aristocrats started grabbing power. They started consolidating their political power. And adding insult to injury, Sri Veeraparakrama Narendra Singha had married a Nayakar princess from Madurai in India. Now this tradition was continuing from Rajasingha II. Marrying a queen from Nayakar dynasty in India, this became a tradition in Kandyan Kingdom. Now this Nayakar family is a prominent royal family in Madurai in India, in South India. And Wimaladharmasuriya II also had a Madurai queen. And not only that, some aristocrats in Kandy also had married Madurai royal members, like prominent members of the Nayakar dynasty. So here we are talking about a royal tradition where the king married a Nayakar princess from Madurai in South India. Okay, so it was like an honor. It was like a respect for the royal family to marry a queen from the Nayakar family in South India, which is a prominent family in South India. Okay.
So Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh also did the same thing. He married a Nayakar princess, but unfortunately he did not have children to take the throne after him. Okay, so he did not have a son. So now with the death of Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh, there was no son to take power. So what happened? According to Nayakar tradition, his wife's brother had to come to power. His wife's brother. Now wife is a Nayakar queen. Understand what I'm saying? She is from India. And her brother came to power in Kandy. That is an Indian. Okay, from Madurai, from Nayakar dynasty. So that is how the Sri Lankan throne the throne went to the Nayakar dynasty from the normal royal dynasty in Kandy. So because of that, these are all Sinhala kings. Wimaladharmasuriya the first was a Sinhala king. Senarath was a Sinhala king. Rajasingha the second was a Sinhala king. Wimaladharmasuriya the second was a Sinhala king. Even though he married a Nayakar princess, he was a Sinhala king. Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh was a Sinhala king. Yeah, but after his death, he did not have a son. So after his death, according to the royal tradition, his wife's brother had to come to power, who is not a Sinhala king. So because of that, Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh goes down in history as the last Sinhala king of Kandyan Kingdom. Not only the last Sinhala king of Kandyan Kingdom, he is also the last Sinhala king of Sri Lanka. Why? Because Kandyan Kingdom is the last kingdom. Understand everybody? Yes? Got it?
Yes.
Okay, no, any questions, please ask. Okay, right. Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh was the last Sinhala king of Kandyan Kingdom. Why? Because he married a Nayakar princess from South India and he did not have a son. Because of that, his Nayakar queen's brother had to come to power. That is the Nayakar tradition. That is how the kingship was inherited in the Nayakar family. So Sri Vijay Rajasingha came to power as a result. Who is Sri Vijay Rajasingha? The wife's brother of Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh. Basically, the brother-in-law. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're married to someone, like let's say when you're married to a lady, she has a brother, that's your brother-in-law, right? So Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh's brother-in-law was Sri Vijay Rajasingha. Now what you need to understand is, even though these kings are from Nayakar family, from Madurai, from India, they grew up under monks. They knew the importance of the leadership in Kandy. They knew the importance of Buddhism in the when it comes to Kandyan Kingdom and the criteria that you need to meet in order to become a legitimate ruler. So these princes also had grown up under the tutelage or under the, we can say, advisors of the monks. Okay, so because of that, they became devoted Buddhists. Even though their roots are from South India, they sponsored Buddhism. For example, I will come to that. Some Nayakar kings uplifted Buddhism, and some Sinhala kings also hadn't done that. To a level that some Sinhala kings also hadn't done that. Some Nayakar kings did great contributions towards Buddhism. Some Sinhala kings also did not. For example, Rajasingha the first, he stopped sponsoring Buddhism. Sitavaka Rajasingha in his later period, he started sponsoring Hinduism. Karaledde Bandara converted to Christianity. Understand what I'm saying? So some Nayakar kings sponsored Buddhism as, to a level that it is there today. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just, ignore the Nayakar dynasty's contribution. And so there are many things that we will discuss over the next few minutes before we go for a break. Okay, right. So Sri Vijay Rajasingha came to power, and basically Sri Vijay Rajasingha also had a duty to perform, that is to uplift the declining Buddhism in the country. So he tried to bring Upasampada from Burma, like the previous kings tried and did, but it was not successful. But he worked very closely with Valivita Sri Saranankara Thero. Okay, so Valivita Saranankara Thero was the main advisor when it comes to Buddhism to the government. He worked very closely. Who worked with very closely? Sri Vijay Rajasingha, the king, worked very closely with Valivita Saranankara Thero to revive Buddhism. His efforts were good. He tried to bring Upasampada, but he could not, unfortunately. Okay. But after Sri Vijayaraja Singh, again, he did not have children. So his wife's brother came to power. Okay. That is the Nayakar tradition, right? If you don't have a son, your wife's brother will become the next king. So Sri Vijayaraja Singh, when he died, his wife's brother was only 16 years old. So he came to power as Kirti Sri Raja Singh. He was only 16 when he came to power, like you, Bhute. Yeah, in Kandy, just imagine, coming to power in Kandy when you're only 16 years old. So because of that, he doesn't have any experience, right? He came to power just because he was the brother-in-law of the previous king. Because he did not have any much experience or maturity, his father, Kirti Sri Raja Singh's father, who's called Narayanappa Nayakar, he had to get involved in the decision making. He had to support the king, right? So he's like the advisor. He was the one who's making big decisions until Kirti Sri Raja Singh grew up, okay, for a few years. Okay. So Kirti Sri Raja Singh, out of these Nayakar kings, is a very special king. Why? Because he's the one who, when it comes to like the Nayakar kings, he's the one who did a great service to Buddhism in Kandyan Kingdom. He worked very closely with Valivita Sarnankara Theru, and Kirti Sri Raja Singh granted a special post to Valivita Sarnankara Theru. He made him Sangaraj. Like how? Because like Kirti Sri Raja Singh said, I am the king of the normal people, and you are the king of the monks. I'm giving you this title, Sangaraj. So he gave Valivita Sarnankara Theru the post called Sangaraj, the title called Sangaraj. He worked very closely. And then with the help of the Dutch, initially when Kirti Sri Raja Singh came to power, the relationship with Kandyan Kingdom and the Dutch were very good. So the Dutch agreed to help Kirti Sri Raja Singh to bring Upasampada, this time from Siam. Siam state is called Thailand today. So we brought Upasampada from Thailand during the time of King Kirti Sri Raja Singh. Buddhism was at a very low level. Like when it comes to Buddhism, people say, or the literary sources say that during the time of King Kirti Sri Raja Singh, some of our monks could not perform rituals properly. They did not have enough knowledge, the Buddhist monks. There had to be some seniors. There had to be a revival in Buddhism in the country. Okay. So because of that, he had to take the advice of Valivita Sri Sarnankara Theru, and Kirti Sri Raja Singh managed to bring Upasampada from Siam with the help of the Dutch. So who came from Siam to Sri Lanka is Upali Theru, a very senior monk from Thailand, from Siam, called Upali Theru. He came to Sri Lanka and established Upasampada again, and established basically what we call the Siam sect in Sri Lanka. So Siam sect is the main Buddhist chapter in Sri Lanka even today. Siam sect, Siam Maha Nikaya Kilikan. In Kandy, you have different Buddhist chapters like Asgiri, Malwatu Parshave, Asgiri Parshave. They all belong to the Siam sect. They all coming from, the Upali Theru's time during King Kirti Sri Raja Singh. So this was the huge, if not in the recent times, the biggest revival in Buddhism, right? That happened under an Nayakar king. You understand what I'm saying? So Upali Theru came to Sri Lanka and established Upasampada once again, and there was a huge Buddhist revival in the country as a result. All thanks to Kirti Sri Raja Singh, the Nayakar king, and also Valivita Sri Sarnankara Theru and Upali Theru, who came from Thailand. Okay, everybody remember the names? Then during Kirti Sri Raja Singh, there are two more events that happened. There was a rebellion in the down south in the Dutch-held areas. And Kirti Sri Raja Singh supported this rebellion. He sent some soldiers in the Kandyan army to help the rebels against the Dutch. So during his time, the Dutch, in the first few years, the Dutch were very friendly. But because of Kirti Sri Raja Singh's support to the rebels, the Dutch got angry with him. And there was some battles between Kandyan Kingdom and the Dutch. And there was a big battle in 1764. In this battle, the Dutch were defeated. And in 1765, the Dutch managed to bounce back, and they captured Kandy briefly. And then Kirti Sri Rajasinghe went into hiding, and the Dutch laid terms. Okay, we'll give you your kingdom back, but you have to agree to this. Kirti Sri Rajasinghe had to sign a peace agreement favoring the Dutch, which is favorable to the Dutch. So to get his kingdom back. So Kirti Sri Rajasinghe ruled from 1747 to 1782, 35 years. Okay, like I'm telling you for your knowledge, no need to remember the years. Okay, just remember the order, that's enough. So there was another event that happened during Kirti Sri Rajasinghe. This happened in 1762. That is the first British representative came to Sri Lanka and met with the king, who is called John Pybus. Okay, John Pybus. He came in 1762. Another important event that happened during King Kirti Sri Rajasinghe's time. So that's it about King Kirti Sri Rajasinghe. Okay. Then after King Kirti Sri Rajasinghe, his brother came to power, who is called Rajadi Rajasinghe. Rajadi Rajasinghe came to power. Rajadi Rajasinghe also ruled the country for about 16 years. And during Rajadi Rajasinghe's time, another English British representative came to Sri Lanka in 1782. His name was Hugh Boyd. And then in 1795, there was another British representative called Robert Andrews who came to Sri Lanka. We will talk about these people in unit number 2, grade 11, the establishment of British power in Sri Lanka. I'm just giving you a general idea here. And so Rajadi Rajasinghe, when he died, during his time, the coastal areas of our country, the marine areas, the coastal areas of our country, which are close to the sea, coastal areas are the areas that are close to the sea, right? Those were controlled by the Dutch during Rajadi Rajasinghe's time, but they were captured by the British during this time. So this happened in 1796 under Rajadi Rajasinghe. Okay, Rajadi Rajasinghe was the king in Kandy. During his time, the British captured the areas that were held by the Dutch in our country, the coastal areas. Okay, this happened during Rajadi Rajasinghe. So when Rajadi Rajasinghe died, Pude, there was no heir to the throne. He did not have children. His wife also did not have a brother. Now there's a big problem in Kandyan Kingdom. Who's gonna be the next king? He had 2 nephews who are kind of, his sisters, somebody. Okay, I don't remember exactly. You also don't need to remember those things. So his sisters, some relations, like little distant relations. Okay, like in terms of relationship, Rajadi Rajasinghe had 2 nephews. Out of these 2 nephews, one was Kannasamy, the other one was Muttusamy. Okay, so out of this, Muttusamy was when it comes to relations, Muttusamy was a little closer, Kannasamy was a little distant relatives. But this time, a very important figure in Kandyan Kingdom had to get involved. His name is Pilimatalawe Mahadikaram. So after the king in Kandyan Kingdom, it was the Mahadikaram who's the most senior officer in the government. Mahadikaram is like the prime minister. Mahadikaram is only second to the king. Okay, only second to the king. So Pilimatalawe Mahadikaram was the prime minister back then. He was the Mahadikaram of Kandy. So Pilimatalawe Mahadikaram decided, okay, I'm going to support Kannasamy to come to power. I'm not going to support Muttusamy. Both are eligible, but I'm going to support Kannasamy to come to power. And with the support of Pilimatalawe Mahadikaram, Prince Kannasamy becomes king, and his name is Sri Vikrama Rajasinghe. He is the last king of Kandyan Kingdom, last Nayakar king of Kandyan Kingdom, last king of Kandyan Kingdom, last king of Sri Lanka as well. There was no other king after King Sri Vikrama Rajasinghe. Okay, so Prince Kannasamy changed his name. You can't be like Kannasamy, and you can't be like Kannasamy. King Kannasamy doesn't sound like a king, right? Yeah, that is why many kings change their names, to glorious ones. Okay, Sri Vikrama Rajasinghe. Sri means like prosperous. Yeah, Sri. Vikrama means heroic. Vikram is also a hero, right? In South India cinema. Okay, Vikrama means heroic. Rajasingha means lion king. So look at the name, right? Look at the meaning of the name. Sri Vikrama Rajasingha, the prosperous heroic lion king. Look at the meaning of the name. All these kings also had names like that, right? So King Kandasamgya, you don't get scared, right? But when you say King Sri Vikrama Rajasingha, it sounds like a king, right? Yeah, majestic kind of name, right? Okay, so Sri Rajasingha, during his initial periods, he faced some challenges from the British. For example, he came to power in 1798. So then he faced an invasion of the British in 1803. There was an invasion of the upcountry by the British. This time, Sheikh Rajasingh had the support of Kandyan people and he managed to defeat the British army in 1803. But gradually, the relationship between Sri Vikram Rajasingh and the aristocrats in Kandy and the senior officers in the Kandyan government started diminishing. One of the reasons for that is Sri Vikram Rajasingh appointed Nayakar relatives to high positions in the government. Ignoring the traditional aristocrats, he also appointed his relatives to the royal courts and gave them high positions and high authority. So because of that, the aristocrats started disliking him. Not only that, he also had some differences, we can say, or conflicts with monks. And some of those monks were killed by Sri Vikram Rajasingh. Because of that, he started losing the support of the monks and the people also, right? So nobody would forgive you if you kill religious leaders, right? Nobody from that religion would forgive you, right? So like that, okay? So he started losing the support of people gradually. And on top of that, he also had a problem with Pilimatalai Mahadikaram. I told you, he is the one who brought him to power. But after that, he started suspecting Pilimatalai Mahadikaram, suspecting him that he wants to take power in Kandyan Kingdom. Maybe Pilimatalai Mahadikaram also had some plans, who knows? But what happened here is Sri Vikram Rajasingha killed Pilimatalai Mahadikaram. Then he lost the remaining support also. Okay. Then Pilimatalai Mahadikaram was killed, and Ahalepola Adhikaram, who was the second Adhikaram, was promoted as Mahadikaram. Okay. So Mahadikaram is the most senior officer after the king. And the second most senior officer is Devana Adhikaram, or second Adhikaram. Ahalepola Adhikaram was promoted to Mahadikaram, and he started suspecting Ahalepola Adhikaram as well. What is the suspicion? Ahalepola Adhikaram is working with the British to capture Kandy, to dethrone him. That was the suspicion he had. And because of that, he killed the family of Ahalepola Adhikaram. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Sri Vikram Rajasingha, in the initial few years, he was a very good king. But gradually, because of his actions, he started losing the support of the Kandyan people, one event after another, right? Then what happened? He killed the whole family of Ahalepola Adhikaram. Ahalepola Adhikaram was in hiding. He could not find him. He could not arrest him. So he decided to take revenge from the whole family of Ahalepola Adhikaram. His children were killed. His wife was drowned and killed. Madhuma Bandara, that story, you might have learned when you were a kid, who is considered a national hero. So Sri Vikram Rajasingha, because of that, started losing all the support of Kandyan people and the aristocrats in Kandy. So the aristocrats started working closely with the British. The British promised, like, okay, you want to get rid of the king. We understand that you don't like the king. So we will replace him and we will give you a prosperous life. This is what the British promised the Kandyan aristocrats. The Kandyan aristocrats basically fell into the trap. And then the Kandyan aristocrats decided, okay, we are not going to support the king anymore and we are going to invite the British to take over the kingdom. Nobody would fight the British. And the British were invited, and the Kandyan Kingdom was kept on a silver platter and offered to the British in 1815. So Sri Vikram Rajasingha had nowhere to run. He went into hiding, but he was later arrested in 1815. He was brought to Colombo, spent some months there, and then he was deported to Vellore in India, in South India. Even today, you can see his tomb there. And Sri Vikram Rajasingha spent about 17 years in Vellore. He died in about 1832, okay, in Vellore in India. He, along with his queens, were deported to Vellore in India. This is the end of Sri Lankan kings This is the end of Kandyan Kingdom as well. Very sad ending, unfortunately. The country went into the hands of the British. You know, so then after that, the British started controlling our country. You know the situation of our country after this. It was not a kingdom. And we lost so many things more than what we gained. Basically, we gained something as well, but we lost so many things under the British, basically our freedom and everything. So that's the end of Kandyan Kingdom. Okay. And after a break, we will talk more about the administration of Kandyan Kingdom, a little more about administration of Kandyan Kingdom. Let's go for a break of 10 minutes. Yeah. Any questions, Pude, from the kings of Kandy? I believe everybody understood.
No, sir.
Does Buddhism differ from country to country? Basically, Buddhism has Buddhism also has two main segments. That is Mahayana Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism. Okay, like Christianity also has Roman Catholicism. You have Protestantism, right? Roman Catholicism. Then you have different groups, right? In Christianity, yeah. So Roman Catholicism is the main group, right? So same like that. Buddhism also has Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. Islam also has, right? Like some they call Sunni Muslim, some they call Shia, like that, you know. So like Hinduism also has, right? Like different cults, different groups like that, you know. So Buddhism also has two main groups, mainly Mahayana Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism. Mainly Sri Lanka, Thailand and Myanmar, main countries when it comes to Theravada Buddhism. Sri Lanka is, from the ancient times, we are one of the leaders, okay, in when it comes to Theravada Buddhism. Yeah, even we have the respect of countries like Myanmar and Thailand for having a pure form of Theravada Buddhism. Even today, we can see in our country, in the Buddhist universities, there are a lot of monks from other countries like Thailand and Myanmar studying in our Buddhist universities. Okay, yeah, from that you understand. So that's something extra knowledge for you. Yeah, everybody should know about all religions, how they work. This is very important when you are a proper history student. Okay, you have to be open to knowledge, and you should be able to explore and learn about other beliefs, other faiths, other people's opinions. So that is how you respect other people's cultures, religions, and everything. So if you are a Buddhist, you have to learn about other religions. It's very important so that you understand their feelings and their rituals and their cultures. If you are a Hindu, you have to learn about other religions. If you are a Muslim, if you are a Catholic, you have to learn about other religions to understand how they think. Yeah, that way you can respect the other people. And when you are respecting the other people, when you know how to respect the other people, you become a highlight in the society. You become a respected person in the society. For example, because of the knowledge that I have in different fields and different religions, I can mingle with anybody in the world because I know something from their culture, because of the knowledge, because of the reading that I have done, because of the experience that I have. So when you get into conversations, you are immediately respected. So this is a very unique skill that you can have, and you have to develop that through knowledge. Okay, so you start getting respected. Yeah, so it's very important as a proper history student in our class. Okay. What happened to the son of Yamasingha Bandara? He was a little kid, no, the infant, no, when the Portuguese were trying to bring him to power. We don't know exactly. Yeah, what happened to him after that? And you don't need to worry about that as well. Yeah, because there was no highlight from his. Because if he is coming to power again or something, we would have learned about him. But no, we don't know. Is there anyone who belong to the royal family at present, like from the past? There are people. Like difficult to prove. Some they are calling themselves, we are member of the royal family, like that. I can also say, right? But there are few traditions that we still follow in Kandyan Kingdom. For example, the rituals in Dalada Malika was done by Diyawadan and Ilame, and that is the same family that is going from the Kandyan Kingdom times up to now. So there are few things, aristocrats, relatives and all, but relatives from the royal family, we don't know exactly. Very few maybe, yeah. aren't the Sinhala kings related to Nayakar dynasty since their mothers are Nayakar? For example, okay, let's say Wimaladharmasuriya II married a Nayakar princess, so you can say Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh is also half Nayakar, right? So normally, Pute, when you are okay, you are half, okay, true, understand. But normally you take the father side, right? Like normally when you are saying, like, let's say your father is from Britain, from UK, and your mom is from China, you would lean, or the world would be like not calling you half UK, half Chinese mostly. But when it comes to royal stuff, you normally go through the paternal side, right? Because that is how now today in the modern world is different, right? Today we have half Chinese, half UK. We call like that. But when it comes to inheritance of kingship and all, you consider the father's side. So if your father is a Sinhala king, you also a Sinhala king, like that. Okay. All right. We will go for a break. Come back in 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. And continue from there. What's the time now? 9:40. Okay. I told you the class will go a little late today. Hopefully 11:30 is what we are looking at. Okay. We'll see. We'll discuss some important papers today before leaving. Okay. Right. So the kings are discussed. Very important stuff about kings were discussed. And for about half an hour, we will discuss about the administrative system of Kandy after the break. Okay. Yeah. All right. Any questions, Bhute? All okay?
Yes, sir.
There are a few questions in the inbox. Sri Vikram Singh is the last king of the country. Yes. Last king of the country, last king of Kandyan Kingdom, last Nayakar king of Kandyan Kingdom. You name everything last. Sri Vikram Singh is the one. Yeah. He's the last of the last. Okay. There's another question. Interesting question. What if you are born in UK but to Sri Lankan parents? What is the nationality and what is the ethnic? Let's take a good example of Australia. Because like let's say a lot of people from Sri Lanka migrate into Australia, right? Let's say a couple migrated to Australia and they had a kid there. So by birth, let's say that kid is Australian. Okay, his nationality will be Australian, right? But his parents are from Sri Lanka, right? So you will call him an Australian, but your ethnicity will be Sri Lankan, right? Because you are born to Sri Lankan and your skin color, everything will look very similar to Sri Lankan, obviously, you know, with the food that you eat and with the like with the environment, everything you will look a little different, but mostly your hair and everything, like genes are same, right? Like you can't change. Then you would call like you are an Australian, like let's say that kid is an Australian with a Sri Lankan descent. Yeah, because his parents are from Sri Lanka, right? So he will be Australian by nationality. His passport will be Australian. His papers, everything Australian, but his descent is Sri Lankan. You can't change it, right? Because his roots are from Sri Lanka. So Australian of a Sri Lankan descent. But now many countries who give citizenship, like you know, like they don't worry too much about where you come from and stuff like that. For example, after 3 generations, you will be very naturalized. Okay, like you know, like let's say the Sri Lankan parents, they go to Australia, and after 3 generations, see children after children, they would rarely come to Sri Lanka. Yeah, they would just remember Sri Lanka like, okay, my grandfather's father was from this country called Sri Lanka, something like that. Their roots will be from Sri Lanka, but they won't remember much about Sri Lanka. So you become naturalized after that, right? Americans are also like that. When Americans are coming from today, the so-called Americans, they are coming from Europe. They are settlers from Europe. Okay, from Spain, from Britain, from France, mainly, you know. So they are now American. Why? Because they are naturalized. They have lived there long enough, and then so many generations, and then you have a right to call yourself like that. Okay, but they are literally settlers from other European countries, and Americans. They were, you know, they were natives in America, right? Like we call them the Red Indians. We don't use the word Red Indians now. We use the natives. The word natives. Red Indians is derogatory. It's insulting. So we are not using it now. Based on skin color and everything, we don't call people like that, right? So that is why we don't use the word Red Indians. Okay. He will be a brown Steve. Yeah, yeah. So the names, everything will be like kind of, you know, who knows. But there are people like generations, Sri Lankans, who protect their identity, who teach their children the values, the Sri Lankan culture and everything. There are a lot of families like that living in other countries in the world. That is very beautiful, right? Because you know you have not forgotten your roots. This is very beautiful, right? But 3-4 generations after, mostly like you know the average. I'm talking about the average person, their kids, their grandkids, everybody will be like kind of assimilated to the new culture, new tradition and stuff like that. Yeah, this is what we can see from the experience. All right, so let's get into some more details about Kandyan Kingdom. We have to do some papers today as well. And okay, so let's share the tute. Yeah, so you can read the tute, Pute. I believe most of you try to read the tute already. Can I see some hands who already read the tute? I uploaded them last week. Nobody? Can I see some hands who read the tute? Yeah, the new one, the updated version, yeah. Okay. So you have to read the tute, okay? You can remember so many things from the tutes itself, and it will be very helpful for your exams. It's not me who's telling, it's the people who got A passes who are telling this, right? Because you might have heard their stories, right? Okay. So here's the administration of Kandyan Kingdom. Now, there was this court called there was this assembly called the Royal Council. That is the highest assembly in the country, headed by the king. This assembly or this council is called the Royal Council. This is headed by the king, and then senior officers will be sitting with the king in this council. Who are they? First Adhikaram. First Adhikaram is like the king's right hand. Just after the king, it is the first Adhikaram who is the most senior officer in the government. Okay, he will be responsible for most of the administration stuff in the government. First Adhikaram. It's like the prime minister. If the king is the president, first Adhikaram is the prime minister. Now you would argue, like, what about the king's son, right? Look, the king's son will be the heir to the throne, right? If the king has a son, he will be the next in line to the throne, right? So we call him the crown prince. We call him the heir to the throne. He will mostly be involved militarily. He will be involved administrative wise as well, but he will definitely be the commander of the army. Okay, like that, you know. So he will get involved in administration, but these officers will be more involved in general administration stuff. The king's son will mostly be with the military stuff mainly. Okay, and even if the king's son or the crown prince wants to do something, he would take the advice of the senior officers like first Adhikaram and the second Adhikaram. So after the first Adhikaram is a very senior officer in the government. For example, Pilimatalai Mahadhikaram was the first Adhikaram. He had the power to bring Kannasamy to the throne, right? You remember, Shrikon Rajasinghe is Prince Kannasamy. He came to the he became the king with the support of Pilimatalave Mahadhikaram, or the first Adhikaram. So in Sinhala we call it Mahadhikaram. In English we call him first Adhikaram. Examples for first Adhikaram: Pilimatalave Mahadhikaram, Mahalepola Adhikaram or Mahalepola Mahadhikaram. Yes. Okay. Then second Adhikaram is only second to the first Adhikaram. First Adhikaram is only second to the king, and second Adhikaram is only second to the first Adhikaram and the king. You understand what I'm saying? So he's the second most senior officer in the government. Second Adhikaram is called Devana Adhikaram, and you know, Ahalepola Adhikaram was a second Adhikaram. Okay, example. Okay, Ahalepola Adhikaram was a second Adhikaram. Right. Then also in the Royal Council, there were senior officers like Disaves. Disaves are officers responsible for large areas. Disaves, yeah. Large administrative districts were there. We call them Disavas or Disavani in plural form. We will come to that later. And there were senior other officers in the government like Mahalekams and Baddalekams. Mahalekam is the chief secretary. Baddalekam is the tax secretary. Okay, so Baddalekams are the administrators of different castes or groups in the country, and tax structure is controlled by them. Mahalekam is the chief secretary. Okay, he is the chief administration officer. Yeah. Okay. So those are some officers who sat in the Royal Council headed by the king. Everybody got it, Pude? Yes. So who's the most senior officer after the king in Kandyan Kingdom?
First Adhikaram.
First Adhikaram Sinhala?
Mahadhikaram.
Now, I told you at the beginning of this lesson, Kandyan Kingdom is a very modern kingdom. Kandyan Kingdom is the latest kingdom that we had. So similarly, Kandyan Kingdom also had a very well organized and advanced administration structure. Not like Anuradhapura, Polonnaru Kingdom, they are like, you know, very old, right? So with time, you know, you have improvements, right? You are learning and new technology, new administration methods, knowledge gets updated, you know. So with all that, Kandyan Kingdom also had a very advanced and well organized administration system. So the Kandyan Kingdom was divided to 4 main, we can say, branches. Okay. The administration of Kandyan Kingdom was divided to 4 major departments. Okay. What are those departments, Pude? One department is called Mahavasala. In English, we call it service in the palace. In Sinhala, we call it Mahavasala Sevaya. Okay, Sevaya means service. Mahavasala means Maha means for the big, Vasala is palace. The big palace is the king's palace. So service in the king's palace. This was a separate department. You know, there were people to serve the king's palace or to run the palace. There were many officers who were in charge of different departments in the palace. You know, when a king is ruling the country, his palace had to be maintained properly in a majestic way so that you earn the respect of people. Not only that, you have senior officers coming to meet the king in the palace. You have diplomats from other countries, from other nations coming to meet the king in the palace. So you have to treat them with proper dignity and respect. And the palace can't be just an ordinary home like a setup, right? So it has to be very majestic and well organized. So various officers had been appointed to take care of the palace. For example, there was a separate officer to take care of the king's dining hall. Okay, so these kind of officers, we call them Nilames and Muhandirams. For example, there was a Nilame called Bhatwadana Nilame. Bhatwadana Nilame is the one who is responsible for the king's dining hall. Bhatwadana Nilame. Then Haluwadana Nilame. Haluwadana Nilame is the one who is dressing up the king. Yeah, who's in charge of dressing up the king. So king has to look majestic, right, to the public. So there was a separate officer in charge of that. There was another Nilame called Gajanayaka Nilame. Gajanayaka Nilame is the one who's responsible for the elephants. Yeah, Gajanayaka Nilame. Then there were Muhandirams. Muhandiram also very senior officers like Nilames. They are very respected. They are aristocrats. They are members of the royal family. They are like relatives of the royal family or very close people to the royal family from generations. Okay, and because of their relationship to the royal family from the generations, their children will take over the place that their fathers took. For example, Gajanayaka Nilame's son will be the next Gajanayaka Nilame, like that. Okay. Then Muhandirams were also there. Muhandirams also very senior officers like Nilames. For example, there was a Muhandiram called Aspantiye Muhandiram. Aspanti Askanpute horses, right? Aspantiye Muhandiram, the officer in charge of horses. Then Kavikara Maduwe Muhandiram. Kavikara Maduwe Muhandiram means the Muhandiram in charge of the poets who entertained the king, right? So like that, you know, there were Lekams, there were secretaries as well, like Mahalekam, chief secretary. Mahagabada Nilame is the treasurer, chief treasurer, Nilame, who's in charge of the king's treasury. So there were various Nilames and Muhandirams like this to take care of the service in the palace. Okay. And then the country was also divided into provinces. Okay. Now here I'm going to take a separate whiteboard. Everybody can see the whiteboard, Pute? Right.
Yes, sir.
So the provinces, the Kandyan Kingdom, like I said, it had a very advanced administrative system. So provinces of Kandy were there were 21 provinces in Kandy. Okay. And 9 of them were close to Kandy, and we call them Ratas or Rataval. Okay, Ratan. There were 9 Ratas like this, and there were 12 Disavas, which are little away from Kandy. Now, Ratas are close to Kandy, small areas, close to Kandy, small areas than Disavas. Okay. Ratas are administrative districts that are small. You can't say small. Some Ratas are decently big. But they are close to Kandy mostly. Okay. So that is Ratas. There were 9 such Ratas like this. You have to remember a few. Okay. Very easy to remember. Udunuwara, very close to Kandy. Yatinuwara, easy to remember, right? There were 9 Ratas like this. Udunuwara, Yatinuwara, Tumpane. Easy to remember. Yeah. Or 3 more. Dumbara, Heva, Hata, Kotmale. You can remember like a 9. Udunuwara, Yatinuwara, Tumpane. Easy to remember. 3 Ratas. Minimum 3 Ratas. Remember. Okay. Udunuwara, Yatinuwara, Tumpane. Dumbara, Heva, Hata, Kotmale. like that, you remember. Okay, there are some in the book you can remember. So there were 9 such rattavals like that. And then rattas are close to Kandy, kind of small areas which are close to Kandy. Okay, so rattas were ruled by Ratte Ralas. Ratte Rala is a senior officer who is in charge of Ratta. So Udunura was ruled by Udunura Ratte Rala. Okay, like that. Okay, so Ratte Ralas to support the Ratte Ralas, there were minor officers as well, like Liena Rala, Undia Rala. Yeah, Ratte Rala is in charge of Rattas. Okay, Undia Rala, minor officers. Okay, to support Ratte Rala. Understand, everybody? Okay. Then Disavas are larger areas which are away from Kandy. Okay, very easy to remember. So before I tell you a few examples of Disavas are large areas, right? So those large areas are again divided. You understand what I'm saying? So a province is a big area, right? Province is divided into what, Pute? Districts in Sri Lanka today, right? So because province is too big, so you can't, Western province, there are 3 districts, right? Colombo districts, Kalutara, and you have Gampaha district, like that, you know. So you divide it, you further divide it. So Rattas were not further divided, like, you know, they were like mostly villages and you know, groups of villages like that. But Disavas were huge areas and they had to be further divided. So Disavas were divided into correlates. Okay, correlates. Then correlates were divided into pattus. One pattu means several villages like that. Okay, so the various officers were appointed to administer those areas. Okay, Disavas, correlates, and pattus. Okay, Disavas were divided into correlates were divided into pattus. Some examples for Disavas is Hatara correlate. 4 correlates got together and they called it Disava. Hatara correlate. Tung correlate. 3 correlates there. Tung correlate. You understand what I'm saying? So correlates are also big areas. Correlates are several pattus. One pattu is several villages. So several villages will be one pattu. Several pattus will be one correlate. Several correlates like Hatara correlate, 4 correlates will be one Disava. We call it Hatara correlate. Then 3 correlates are one Disava, Tung correlate. Then there was another Disava called Nuwara Kalaviya. Modern day Anuradhapura Polonnaruwa Nuwara Kalaviya was called Nuwara Kalaviya during Kandyan Kingdom. Matale area was a Disava. Uwa is Badulla, Bandaravela, Monaragala, Vellas, Uwa Palata. Uwa was a Disava. Okay, understand what I'm saying? Sabaragamu was a Disava. Ratnapura, that area, you know, Ratnapura, parts of Kagala district as well. Sabaragamu was a Disava. You can remember a few. Easy to remember. Hatara Korale, Tunkarale. And Nuwara Kalaviya is the modern day Anuradhapura Polonnaruwa, huge area. Okay, so that is Disava. So to control Disavas, Disaves were appointed. Disave is a senior officer in the government. Okay, he is in charge of a whole area, big area. Then Disaves were divided into correlates. So corrales were appointed to administer those. Corrales or corrale mahatya kilat kiwa. So corrales, different pronunciations are used. So corrales were in charge of correlates, right? Disaves were in charge of Disavas. Disava is a huge area. Then we had different Muhandirams taking care of different castes. Okay, different castes were, for example, the caste who is doing transport affairs were called Madihe Bad. So Madihe Muhandiram is in charge of all the people who are involved in transport affairs. Okay, like that. Okay, Madihe Muhandiram. So Muhandirams were in charge of castes, and there were Vidanis who were in charge of villages or pattus. Vidanis, okay, Vidanis. So Vidane kile kane leader, right? Vidane. So leader, he, you know, Singaling vachanathina Vidana denawa kine Vidana means you give order. So the person who is giving orders, Vidanis. So Vidane kile kane who's in charge of several villages like that, right? Okay, so correlates are in charge of correlates. Disaves were in charge of Disaves. Now, overall, Bude, this responsibility of administering different areas, like, you know, the country is divided, or the Kandyan Kingdom is divided into 21 areas. 9 of them were Rattas. Remember very well, 9 is a small number, 12 is a big number, right? So 9 are the small areas also. Number also small, area also, size of the area also small. 9 Rattas and 12 Disaves. Okay, you can remember like that. Altogether 21. So the full responsibility of this provincial administration was given to Adhikarams. Adhikarams were reporting to the king, right? Adhikarams. So the two Adhikarams, the Mahadhikaram and the Devanadhikaram. Mahadhikaram is called Pallegampahadhikaram sometimes. Devanadhikaram was called Udagampahadhikaram. So first Adhikaram and the second Adhikaram. Mahadhikaram is the first Adhikaram. Devanadhikaram is the second Adhikaram. So Adhikarams are responsible for provincial ruling mainly. Okay. So they will report to the king. King is ultimately responsible. King is the head, no doubt. But the administration part was mainly the responsibility of the Adhikarams. So when Adhikarams want to send a message to anybody, like a Raterala or Disaves, they used a messenger called Katupulle messengers. Katupulle messengers. So when you have the Katupulle coming to a village, what can you understand? Yeah, when you see the Katupulle messenger. Now, how do you identify a Katupulle messenger? Is he has a silver ringed cane, a cane with silver rings. That is the symbol. Okay, with the it's a bent cane like that. Okay, like that with rings, silver rings. So when you see Katupulle messenger, what can you understand? Yeah, anybody? There's a message from who? Adhikar. Okay, it's a big message. So whenever you see a Katupulle messenger in the village or going to meet the Disave, going to the house of Disave, you know, okay, something big is coming, right? Some big message is coming from Adhikaram, is from Adhikarams, okay? So that's about Adhikarams, and that's about the provincial ruling. Everybody got it? Yes? Any questions, Uday?
Yes.
You should have a few questions by this time. No? Everybody listening carefully, right? Yeah. Okay. You will know for sure when you have papers, right? When you see the papers, you will understand what we have learned now. Okay. Then now see, Uday, let's take your school now, for example, right? Now Kandyan Kingdom was divided into provinces in one administration department, right? I told you there are there were 4 departments when it comes to the administration of Kandyan Kingdom. We discussed 2 now. One is the Mahavasala or Mahavasala Seva, service in the palace. The second one is provincial ruling. And the provincial ruling, we call it Ratavasama, okay, in Sinhala. Ratavasama. Yeah, Ratavasama means provincial ruling. And then there was another department that is called Badde structure. Okay, Badde Sangvidhane kila kiyana Sinhala. Different names are used here. I will tell you. So Badde Sangvidhane. If you translate this to English, this is called Badde organization or tax organization. Badde means for the tax. Badde organization. Okay. So Mahabadda kilat kina meකට Mahabadda. Mahabadda is also same thing, okay? Badda Sangvidhane only, which was called Mahabadda. That you can say the tax structure, okay? Mahabadda. Then in English you can say Badde organization or the tax structure. Yeah, Badde Sangvidhane or Mahabadda. Now what is this, Pute? Now let's take a simple example. Now your school has classes, right? Based on territories, right? This area is grade 11. This area is grade 10. This area is grade 9. When a grade 9 guy comes to grade 11, why are you here? Go back to your class. Okay, because that is your area, right? That is, you have marked your area, right? Like grade 11 area. This is a grade 10 area, like that. So area wise, you have divided the school into classes, right? And you can you divide the school into groups? in another way. That is by the sports that students are playing. Okay, the guys who are playing cricket, the guys who are, or the girls who are playing netball get together, the prefects get together. Okay, there will be students from all classes, right? Some. So you can organize them separately, right? Those who are playing cricket, those who are playing basketball, those who are doing swimming, like that, right? But the structure is also like that. Okay, so you can divide the country into provinces based on the areas. You can put borders and divide them into administrative provinces. You can also divide the people based on the job they are doing, based on their castes, based on the role they are doing in the society. Okay, so very good examples for this. There were different baddes. So for example, the people who are involved in transport, we call them madige badd. Madige badd. Okay, so people who are involved in catching tuskers and all, we administered them separately. Kuruwe badd. Like that, you know. Then there were different baddas like Radha badd, who was washing clothes, Badahala badd. The different types of baddas are there. You can see in the tute as well. We have given some examples. So there were Muhandirams who's taking care of these castes. Okay, so the caste based system, based on the role that they had to perform in the society, they had a duty to perform. Based on that, there were groups of people, they were separated into groups. This whole structure is called the Badde structure, Mahabadda, and there were different Badde groups like this, like Madige Badda, Kuruwe Badda, Radha Badda, Badahala Badda, like that. Okay, so you can remember a few examples like that. So that is another administration structure. That is another way of administration of Kandyan Kingdom. Everybody got it, Pude? Yes. So Baddes were kind of independent initially. They acted separately, but later on they were also brought under the Disaves. For example, in a Disava, let's say Nura Kalavi is a huge area, so all the Baddas were organized separately in that area, okay, like under the Disav. Okay, right. Then we have the temples and devalas, the last administration department. Temples and devalas was a separate administration department. Normally the king would not get involved in those. So the chief monks and the deputy chief monks will be in charge of managing the temples and devalas. Devalas also temples, which is basically to worship gods. Temples are vihara, we call it vihara. The main Buddhist temples is what we are talking about here. Okay, so when it comes to temples and devalas, we see a tradition. We see the main temple getting associated with various devalas. Even today we have we call them Satara Mahadevala in Kandy. Yeah, so they are dedicated to 4 gods like that. You know, there's a tradition as well. So different devalas like Vishnu Devalaya, Natha Devalaya, Pattini Devalaya, Kataragama Devalaya, you know, Vishnu Kataragama, Natha Pattini, like that, you know, you have devalas. So they are connected to the temple. So they all administered in one department. They were all administered in one department. Who are in charge of this? Mahanayaka Theros are chief monks. Mahanayaka Theros. Anunayaka Theros are deputy chief monks. Okay, so Mahanayaka Theros will be like mostly advising. Anunayaka Theros will be the ones who basically, you know, who are working on the ground mainly. Okay, so then we have for Dalada Malika, we had a separate Nilame who is called Diyavadana Nilame. Okay, Diyavadana Nilame. He is the one who is responsible for Dalada Malika. He is the custodian of Dalada Malika. Okay, so when it comes to organizing the Dalada Perahara or the annual procession, right? Dalada Perahara, Asala Maha Perahara Kilikian. Then when it comes to planning on public weaving of the Dalada Karandu, everything or anything related to Dalada Maligav is handled by him. All administration related to Dalada Maligav handled by Diwadan and Ilame. He is advised by Mahanayaka Theros. Okay, he will be working closely with Mahanayaka Theros, right? So he is the officer in charge of Dalada Maligav or custodian of Dalada Maligav. This post is still there in Kandy, right? This family is still there. So, for example, the Diyavadana Nilame before was the Nilanga Dala Bandar. Then now we have Nilanga Dala. So he's from the same family. Okay, so like that, you know. So that's an example. So this tradition still continues in Kandyan Kingdom, even though we don't have a king, but the chief custodian or the custodian of Dalada Malika is still coming from the same family, which is the Diyavad. The post is called Diyavadana Nilame. Okay, right. So that's it about the administration of Kandyan Kingdom. Any questions, Bude, from this? These things you can read, Bude. The king possesses the highest power, and there were some. You see, Badahala Badda is called pottery. Here I have given some examples. You can remember like 3 Baddas. Madige Badda is transport. Kurue Badda is catching tuskers or elephants, taming elephants, catching tuskers, that field. Badahala Badda means pottery. Radha Badda is washing clothes. The group of people who wash clothes, they were called Radha Badda. Okay, right. Then you have some cases only heard by the king. You can read them, okay, when you are free. Some cases involving only, like when there are court cases involving senior leaders in the government, like Adhikarams, Mahadhikarams, only king will be hearing those cases. And if any cases are related to monks, only the king will hear those cases. There are certain criterias like that. And some punishments given are also there: beating, whipping, kasapahara dena kyanne, yeah, lashing, giving lashes, and drowning, you know, killing by drowning, killing by trampling by elephants. That's a very harsh punishment. Those are given for those who are going against the country, like traitors. These kind of punishments are given for traitors, like drowning, trampling by elephants, rioters. Those people are given these kind of punishments. So, like murderers and all, they are given like death by hanging or yeah, cutting the neck. Yeah, like that. Criminals are given those punishments. And this is another interesting punishment, that is expel into gypsy groups. This is given to leaders, mainly aristocrats. If an aristocrat is found guilty of something, some misdemeanor, some crime or something, not a small crime, but a significant one, which brings the country into disrepute, which brings the family into disrepute, you expel them to gypsy group. Now, who are gypsies? Are gypsies are like people who don't have a permanent place to live, who live in camps, who do these jobs like like snake dance, these kind of things, like monkey dance. These kind of things are done by the gypsies, and they live in groups and they go from place to place, right? So normally aristocrats are
So
given
they
this
like
punishment.
Veddo, right?
Sorry, Pute?
They like Veddo, right?
Not Vaddo, Pute. Gypsies are different, right? Vaddos are those who are living in jungles, no? Gypsies are a group who are doing this small stuff, like entertaining stuff, right? Like Madhuru Natavana, they have these pythons, they have the snake dancing, these kind of things are done by the gypsies. So what will happen to an aristocrat if he, mostly I'm telling average, this punishment was given to big people, okay, when they are caught with some crime. They will be expelled and they have to live with the gypsy group. Okay. So, they don't have place to live now. Aristocrats, they also live like kings. They have people to work for them, right? Aristocrats are only second to the king. They also live like kings. They have, are singling, atatapayata vedakaru. Yeah. So everything will be done by the workers for them. They are also like kings. So just imagine, they are used to live like kings and they have to live with the gypsy group now. That's a big punishment that you don't have proper toilets, you don't have proper place to sleep, you are sleeping on the ground, and you have to, live in very low hygienic conditions and stuff like that. Okay.
Just
So,
like vagrants.
sorry? Gypsies,
Sir,
gypsy.
gypsies are just like me, vagrants.
I didn't hear that. Yeah, people who travel, right? Like one place to place. Okay. So Okay, so then economic system, you can read this as well. Now, economic system was again mainly based on agriculture. There's no doubt about that. Kandyan Kingdom or whatever the kingdom, our main livelihood was agriculture. Okay, and Kandyan Kingdom was also self-sufficient. We didn't use money much. We used the exchange of goods method. Yeah, we call it the barter system. So we didn't use money much. Okay. But the thing is, in Kandy, you can't cultivate paddy much. Okay. Because of the hilly nature. Yeah. But we used some terrace cultivation, like, we cut the mountains like into steps, and then this is called terrace cultivation. So we use those methods to cultivate paddy. But chain cultivation was very popular during Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, animal husbandry was done. I mean, cattle were reared, chicken, goats, they were reared as well. But one thing you need to understand: iron industry, wood, steel, iron and steel, then reed industry or cane industry. These were at a very developed state. Reed industry means what? Reed can pan killer single reed. Reed is what you use to make these mats and all. Pan paduru, yeah. So like the mats and all, the floor mats and all, you use reed to make. Cane, you make furniture out of cane. Wevel putu again, cane chairs, like that. So reed industry is the pan karmante, yeah. So pan paduru again, reed mat, yes. So you can see that, you can do some googling and learn that. And those industries were at a developed state. We can understand that because Kandyan Kingdom is the latest kingdom that we had, right? So no doubt about that. Okay. And then when it comes to the lands of the country, the king was the owner of all lands. Now you have a house. If the king thinks this house is no longer yours, it's mine, he will take it. He has the power to do that. And you can do nothing about it. If you did something about it, you will disappear, or it will be the last day of yours. That is how the kings work. Basically, technically, the king is the owner of the country. Basically, the country is written and given to him. You understand technically. But our kings, they wanted to keep the people happy, right? You can see, very cruel or rude kings, who lived, in other countries as well. Our kings also sometimes, they did some cruel acts, like, for example, Shiv Kumar Raja Singh. I'm not saying no, but what I'm saying is overall, the kings wanted to make sure that people are happy. So we don't have any instance of, like kings grabbing lands of people or something like that. But he can. Technically, he's the owner of all lands. So the thing is, people can enjoy lands, but they are belong to the government end of the day. Okay, everything is king's property only. So when people are enjoying those lands, let's say for cultivation, you have to pay a tax, or you have to work for the government for enjoying those lands. So this working for the government for free is called the compulsory service system. So you have to work for a certain days for enjoying these lands of the king and everything. This system is called Rajakarya system. Raja means king. Karya means the karya means the work. So the king's work. You have to work for the king for a certain number of days, or based on a roster, something like that, right? So this is called the compulsory service system, which is called the Rajakarya system. Okay. So people had to either pay some tax, give some goods, or give some service, like maintain roads and repair tanks and these kind of things. Okay. So there are various types of lands enjoyed by people. Gabadagam, for example, Gabadagam are reserved lands for palace. Nobody can touch Gabadagam. Okay. Gabadagam are palace lands, palace owned lands. Lands reserved for palace use. Nobody can touch Gabadagam. Then Nindagam means the lands given to aristocrats for their service. Let's say Mahadikaram did a great service to the king during a war or something like that. He managed the country very well and he supported the king so much. So king is very happy about the Mahadikaram. So he would go, okay, this area is yours now. That is an Nindagam. Make an Nindagam. You can enjoy that. So what will the Mahadikaram do now? That area will be his. He can collect the taxes and everything from that area. All the people who are living in that area will be like his property. Like that, he can get the income from those people, and also he'll be rich. Nindagam is that. Okay. Then Viharagam, the king would allocate lands for the temples, so that temples can be maintained. Temples don't have to the temples or the monks don't have to ask for money from anybody. They have their own land, so they can lease those lands to farmers, for example, and they can get the income to maintain the temple, right? So there were lands like that, Viharagam. Then Devalagam, those lands were given to Devalas as well. Okay, Viharagam, Devalagam. Then there was another type of gum called Paraveni gum. Paraveni gums are also sometimes called Nindagam. Paraveni gum put a type of lands that were enjoyed by villagers for generations. Let's say the king is happy, the villagers are giving, like let's say there are some people in an area, they are enjoying some lands for generations, and they have been very loyal to the king. They are providing a great service whenever the king has an emergency, anything like that. They were ready. They were very loyal and very supportive to the king. So the king is very happy now, and they are doing this for generations. And the king would say, okay, these lands are yours. I'm releasing these lands for you. So that will be an Indagam as well, or we call them Paravenigam. So lands enjoyed by villagers for generations, they will be given as gifts by the kings, okay, to the people. Understand, everybody? Yes?
Sir.
Okay, what are Gabadagam?
Lands used for the palace.
Land reserved for the palace.
The palace.
Lands reserved by the palace. So lands reserved for the palace use. What are Nindagam?
Lands reserved for the use of aristocrats.
Land reserved for aristocrats.
Lands granted for the aristocrats for their service. Okay, for their service, right? Then what are Paravenigam? Oh, Nindagam. Also, sometimes the word Nindagam also is used.
Given for villagers.
Lands
Enjoyed
enjoyed
by
by villagers.
Yeah.
Enjoyed
Viharagam?
for generations.
Lands given to temples are called Vihara.
Yeah.
Lands given to Devalas are called Devalagam.
Devalagam.
So this one you can read. There was a rural society in Kandy. I like to discuss this small thing. The time is 10:30, but it's okay. We are extending the class until 11:30, hopefully today. We'll do some papers. We have to do some papers. Extra papers we will do in our extra classes, and I will also put some target questions, right? I will update the target question bank, and then we have our exam also. So we can discuss some papers in that as well. Okay, paper sessions, some extra sessions for that. So, but the thing is here, we have to get the theory parts right. So if you don't know the theory parts, you can't answer the papers, right? I mean, if you know the theory parts properly, you take any paper, you can answer any question in any paper if you know the theory parts. That's the most important thing. So certain theory parts in Kandyan Kingdom cannot be skipped. Right. When it comes to the society of Kandy, it was a rural society, simple society, but virtue was given preference. What is virtue? Behavior of high standards. Behavior of high standards. You know, lying was disliked. Those who lie were not given a proper place in the society, were ignored in the society. Those who were criminals, those who were drinking alcohol, for example, they were disliked by the society. Okay, for example, you would not be allowed in a house if you are drunk. This was the standard of Kandyan society. You would sleep outside. Okay, you would not be taken inside a house. You understand what I'm saying? So that was the standard of Kandyan Kingdom. So those, this is not me telling. This is Robert Knox, who's a British national who spent 19 years in Kandy, telling. Okay, those who are liars were disliked by the Kandyan people. Those who were consuming alcohol were disliked by the Kandyan people, right? This was a standard of Kandyan people, right? Today, let's talk about that, right? Okay. So marriages were also based on castes. You know, people were divided into different castes. So marriages were, you know, within the caste. Marriages were not allowed outside the caste. For example, a farmer's daughter will marry a farmer from a farmer's caste. And a farmer would not marry a fisherman like that, right? Farmer's daughter would not marry a fisherman's son like that. Those are disliked. Those are not encouraged. So fisherman will be married to another fisherman family, right? Like that. Okay, so that is the marriages based on the caste system. And then there were three types of marriages: Diga marriage, Binna marriage, and
Wait, sir.
Ekagekama. Yes, Uday, you have a question?
Why was there caste-only marriages?
You know, that is basically the caste had to perform a duty, right? For example, the farmers wanted to make sure that, look, there are two main reasons. One is why there's a caste system. Like I said, you know, there's no, for example, when there's a smoke, there's a fire, right? There's a reason for everything in this world. So basically, the caste system was a necessity in the ancient times to protect the economy of the country. For example, what if all the farmers became fishermen? What if there's no caste system? All the farmers became fishermen means who will grow the crops? Yeah, who will grow the crops? So like that, you know. So everybody had to play a role in the society. So the kings, or it was how the society was organized. Everybody had a role to play in the society. Like the potters were a separate group, the farmers were a separate group, the fishermen were a separate group. So a farmer would not like if his son gets married to a fisherman daughter, and then they start a family, and then the child that is born becoming a fisherman, meaning that there's nobody to take on the farmer's role. Okay, so after some time, for example, now this is what will happen to Sri Lanka as well. I'm not telling caste system is good, but for example, all the farmers today, their children becoming doctors and software engineers. So after 20 years, there's no farmers in the country. Only very few farmers will be there. So we have to bring farmers from other countries. So the economy will be different. Oh, we have to import our stuff, because the farmers today will never tell their son, okay, dear son, you also have to be like your father, you have to be a farmer. No, 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 you have to study well, you be a doctor, you be an engineer, you be a you know, some big man, right? Like this is what that would say. Now in the ancient times, not like that. Farmer's child had to be a farmer. You have to follow the father's footsteps. This is what we have been doing for generations. You have to carry the legacy of the father, because the farming, the career was very, very well respected. That caste was very respected in the society, right? This is why it was there, right? So that is why within the caste marriages were encouraged. And also, this is the downside of caste system. That is, some castes started thinking that they are higher than the other castes. This is the caste problem, you know. Kula beda again, yeah, the caste problem. So farmers caste started thinking, okay, we are above the fisherman's caste, so we don't give our children in marriage to a lower caste, like that. That is a problem. So the problem here is people, that there's a caste system for a reason, for the survival of the economy, but people took it to their advantage, and people started looking at other castes like lower and higher. This is the problem. Yeah, that is why we reject those systems today. We don't have these caste problems, or not like in India. India still has a lot of these problems still, you know, they are struggling. India, they are still trying to come out of this, you know, divisions in the society. Today, mostly you don't see much. You see a little bit, right? In Sri Lanka, it's still there. It's hidden. Yeah, like not much. You can't see much. Okay. So there were three types of marriages in Kandy. One is the Diga marriage. The second one is the Binna marriage. The third one is the Ekagekama marriage. Ekagekama. Okay, what are these three, Pute? Diga means, Pute, api kiyana Sinhalen, Diga yanawa. Diga yanawa. Kauda yanne? The bride is going. Okay, the bride is going. Where is she going? To the husband's house. Understand? This is called Diga. Okay. So bride is going to live in husband's house. Why? Maybe let's say husband has 100 acres of paddy fields. He can't come and live in the bride's house. So the agreement will be, okay, the bride has to come and live with us. Okay. And they are 100 kilometers away. So no choice. Bride has to go. That is the agreement. Okay. Marriage is an agreement, right? Okay. Then what is Binna marriage? This is the other way around. Husband comes to the bride's house. How? Helicopter. Binna kyane bahino. Right? Diga yanawa. Oh, Diga Denava. Who's giving Diga Denava? Denne kawuda? the bride's mother and father, the bride's parent. Ape duwa diga denama. Diga denama, ape duwa diga yanama. She's going. Binna bahino. Binna bahino means who's bahindi? Who's getting down? The husband is coming and living in the bride's place. Now, this is due to many reasons. Okay. One is, let's say the bride is the only child. Her parents are very weak now and very sick. So she can't live in another place. She has to take care of her parents. She has little brothers and sisters. And she also has a lot of properties. So what if the husband can come and stay and look after the properties and take care, give some security, provide protection to the family as well, right? That is an agreement. Okay. So binna type of marriage is also there. Okay. Right. Then ekage kama means it's not practiced today, but it's like little very unique. That is, there are, let's say, two brothers. Okay, two brothers will marry one lady. Okay, and they will live in the same house. This is called ekage kama. This was also another type of marriage that was practiced in Kandyan Kingdom. This is mainly because, let's say, these two brothers have a big paddy field, and if they started two families, this paddy field would get divided, and their children, it will get further divided, right? So you will end up with nothing. So instead, the two brothers decide to make one family, okay, to have children from one lady. So there will be only one family. So the properties would not get divided. This is the main reason for ekage kama, okay? So properties would not get divided, and you won't end up with a small plot of land, like, a room size land. Maybe in after few generations, you will be like, yeah, you will have a paddy field that is the size of a room. What can you do with that, right? Like that. So this was practiced in Kandyan Kingdom because of that. Understand? Yeah. That's about Kandyan Kingdom. That's the theory parts, and we'll get into papers. People hate people who drink alcohol. Didn't the king drink alcohol? Okay, the kings are kings. No, they can do whatever they like. Okay. Don't compare kings with people, right? It's like you are comparing our students with other students. That is why we named this class the class of kings, right? So we are special like that. Kings are special people. They have special privileges. One child policy, not really, but there was something like not having girls. There was something like that in the ancient times. We have evidence for that. Yeah. Then but the British abolished when the British took over Kandyan Kingdom. These practices were abolished. Okay. Yeah. So children were given rights. That is a good thing from the British. This thing. So certain practices in the society changed with the British taking over, but our freedom, we lost our freedom. That's the main thing. Okay, so let's get into papers now, Pute. Important papers. There will be questions from this unit this year. Looking forward to it. So, right. We'll go with past papers. Yeah, we'll go with some questions from 2022. Let me share the screen with you. Can you see the paper, Pute? Confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, here we go. Question number 18. Can you see with it?
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
answer.
sir.
Enable annotation. Yeah. Annotation enable. Yeah. The king who built Kandy as an independent kingdom for the first time. Who's that? Sena Sammata Vikramba. Very good. He's the founding king of Kandy. He's the one who built Kandy as an independent kingdom for the first time. He broke away from Kote Kingdom and established Kandyan Kingdom. Okay, right. Good. And we will go to the second paper. We don't see other questions from this one. You can answer this one also. Kandyan Kingdom was officially ceded to the British. When did this happen, Pute? this is actually discussed again in unit number 2, grade 11. So basically in 1815, after signing of the Kandyan Convention, in Sinhala we call it Udarata Givisuma. Udarata Givisuma was signed between the British and the aristocrats of Kandy, okay? Officially giving or officially handing over the administration of Kandyan Kingdom to the British. This happened in the Magul Madua in Kandy. Magul Madua is the royal, we can say royal hall. Magul Madua in Kandy. This happened in 1850, okay, in March 1850. Okay, we will go to the second paper. We have some questions from this. You see, Uday, okay, we have the fifth question, right? You can see here. Right, now you see what we learned can be useful, right? Name 3 Badhya organizations functioned in the Kandyan Kingdom. Tell me, 3 Badhya organizations. Now, no need to say this is the meaning of that or something like that. You can tell the names of the Badhya organizations. Yes. Anybody? Madige Badh. Very good. We will put bullet points like this and write, okay? Yeah. One more. Catching tuskers. Kuruve. Kuruve Badh. Catching tuskers. Yeah. Then Radha Badh. What is that? Radha Badh. Washing. Washing clothes. Radha. Redhi. This word is coming from that, right? Redhi hodano again. Radha Badh. Washing clothes. Then we had other Badhas like Badahala Badh, the pottery. Pottery as well, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's enough. 3, no? Name 4 punishments inflicted on convicts in the Kandyan Kingdom. 4 punishments, easy.
Trampling by elephants.
Beating.
Drowning.
Or whipping. Okay. Beating or whipping. Killing by drowning.
Executing to gypsies.
Killing by trampling of elephants. Yeah. Trampling by elephants. One more. Expelling to
Gypsies.
gypsy groups. You can remember like that, okay? Easy, no? Right. Describe 2 features of the economic system in the Kandyan Kingdom. Now we have to write 2 paragraphs here. We have to give 2 topics here, okay? This is a 5 marks question. For writing the 2 topics, we get 2 marks. For explaining them, we get the remaining marks, okay? Right. So shall we try writing this one? We will write it as homework, but let's take a start. Let's write the 2 topics like we do in class, okay? 2 features of the economic system in the Kandyan Kingdom. What is the main feature of the economy in Kandyan Kingdom? Self-sufficient. It's a self-sufficient economy, okay? That is the main feature of Kandyan Kingdom, right? So we can say self-sufficient economy. Under the self-sufficient economy, okay, being a self-sufficient economy. Okay. That is one thing. So you start explaining this one. You say paddy was, even though paddy cultivation was limited, we had some terrace cultivations. Then chaina cultivation was given priority, we would say. So rainwater was used in cultivation mainly because, you know, the hilly areas, you know, you don't, Kandyan Kingdom is in the wet zone, so you don't have to do that. And so self-sufficient economy, we use a barter system. We didn't use, we use the exchange of goods still. Imports were very limited, right? This is one feature of this one. Then we can say the commercial economy was there, but it was like kind of limited when it comes to, Kandyan Kingdom. So here you see another feature we can line up like the agriculture based, like animal husbandry was practiced, and there was some spices and all which were imported as well, right? So we can write about that. Commercial economy was use of money and everything was limited, but when it comes to agriculture, you can talk about chain cultivation also, right? So that's there. And under self-sufficiency, you can say everything that we needed were grown, right, in Kandyan Kingdom as well. Okay. Yeah, so we can talk about like the main livelihood being agriculture. So self-sufficient economy and agriculture, and then industries. You can include industries also. So the second topic will be this. Let me show you. First topic will be self-sufficient economy. Under this, you will mention we are self-sufficient. We use the barter system. Imports were limited. These are points, okay? You can write. You can put them into sentences, right? And paddy cultivation and chain cultivation was done. Self-sufficient economy. So you can say everything that we wanted to consume were produced within the country, most of the things, right? So self-sufficient economy. Correct the spellings. Right. This one. So under that, you can write those points. Then we can say agriculture and other trades. So then other industries, we can say other industries, yeah. So here we can talk about animal husbandry. That is also part of agriculture. Then you can talk about various industries like the iron industry, the steel industry, the reed industry, those industries, cotton industry. They were at a very developed state. You can talk about that here. So that is the nature of the economy of Kandyan Kingdom. Got it, Pute? Everybody?
Sir, can
Yes.
we also explain about the butter?
Those are paragraph questions, right, sir?
I'm sorry, say again.
Are those questions written like paragraphs?
Yeah. Essay type questions should be written in paragraphs. So I just gave you the support with 2 topics and I told you the points. So you will write the paragraph in your own words, okay? Yeah. If you want, you can watch the recording again, yeah? Okay. So get it done. That is a past paper anyway. Chances are very low that it might get repeat, but it might get repeat, who knows? Right. So we will be ready for anything, any eventuality, right? Okay. Right. Then here we have another interesting area. Explain 3 features of the social organization of Kandyan Kingdom. 3 features of the social organization. Tell me one feature of how the society was organized. We can start with marriages, right? Types of marriages. Yeah. So we can talk about marriages in one paragraph. We can talk about the various types of marriages. What are the 3 types of marriages? Yeah. How the society was organized. Yes. Diga marriage, Vinna marriage, and Ekagei Kam, right? So you can include those things, and within the caste marriages were encouraged and out of the caste marriages were discouraged. You can talk about that. And when it comes to social organization, you can talk about the lands in the country. Lands in the country, talk about various types of lands that existed in the country, owned by the king. Yeah, these kind of things. Then various types of lands granted to various people, like Nindagam, talk about Viharagam, talk about Devalagam, talk about Paravenigam. You can talk nicely about this. And another topic is the standards in the society, like the virtue in the society, the nature of the society or the lifestyle. So people had a rural lifestyle, and people had virtue in a high place in their society. Like, people were close to the temple, people were religious in Kandyan Kingdom, people were close to the temples, and the village was a rural type of society, simple type of society, and virtue was given high place in the society. Virtue means behavior of high standards. That is what we call virtue. Okay, right. So you can write that as well. Okay, so yeah, you can give a proper topic there, like marriages in Kandyan Kingdom, lands in the country, or land policy in the country. You can give a topic like that. Then you can say lifestyle of people, lifestyle in the society. Yeah, like that. Okay, so this is how the society of Kandy was organized. Yeah.
So can't we talk about the country, the city divided into 21 provinces when it comes to social organization?
It's administration, but it's not the society. It's called administration. Yeah. That is how the
Okay.
administration was functioning. Yes. That is about rule in the country. No, dividing the country into provinces fall under administration or control in the country. Yeah. So that is not social. Yeah. Got it?
Yeah, so thank you.
Can we explain about
So
Adhikaram?
you see, Budhe, when you are talking about anything, you have three aspects. The first, let's say we are talking about a kingdom, we can have three aspects. One is a political aspect. Political aspect means Budhe, how you are controlling the country, how you are ruling the country, how you are administering the country. That is a political aspect. Then you have the economic aspect. You can look at it from the economic point of view. How the industries are organized, how agriculture is happening, how business is happening in the country, whether the economy is self-sufficient or import-export economy, these kind of things. Okay. Then you can also talk about the society. When you are talking about the society, you can talk about the lifestyle of the people. You can talk about their beliefs, their marriage systems, their behaviors, their language, their lands, these kind of things. Understand? Yeah. So you can talk about anything, like not only Kandyan Kingdom. We can talk about literally any kingdom or any country in the world from those three perspectives. Yeah. This is history. It's not rocket science. When you start understanding this, history becomes very easy. Okay. Here we are talking about how the society is organized. So if you have to talk about how the government is organized or how the administration is organized, then you can talk about adhikarams or officers. Here, the society as a whole, how it's organized. Okay, got it? So you should know, right? When you see adhikaram, okay, it is political because it has something to do with rule in the country. Adhikarams are senior officers in the government. When you say agriculture, okay, it's economy. Basically, that is the main livelihood, right? To support the economy of the country. Understand? When you talk about culture, religion, these lands and these practices and these beliefs and marriage systems, caste system, these kind of things, that is society. Okay. Everybody got it, Pude? Understand? No? When you start understanding this concept, history becomes very easy, right? Nothing. Like you also will learn how to look at things from multiple angles. Okay. It's important for you when you grow up as well, like, when you are becoming professionals and all. So if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a manager, leader, you must be able to think from multiple perspectives, right? Like multiple angles, not only technical side, but also the business side of it. So, the environment side of it, then the cultural side of it, society side of it, and technical side of it as well, right? So that is what will make you a complete leader. Yeah. Okay. So let's check other papers as well. We have a tute. Let me update the tute and upload, okay, in the coming weeks. So let's go for some more questions. It's 11 o'clock. No, we have half an hour to discuss papers. We'll go for a 5-minute break and be back, okay? Yeah. Everybody ready for some extra action today? Yeah? Yes? Extra time now, right? Okay. So let's do some work today. So 2006, we are going back. We are going to the first paper that was given to this syllabus. So we will start answering a few questions from 2016 and old papers, right? Chances are very high that some of the old questions will get repeated. Only the wording might be changed. Okay. Name 2016, we're going for some essay questions first. Name the persons given below in order of A, B, and C. A. The king who established an independent kingdom in Kandy for the first time. Who is that?
Sena Sammat Vikram.
Sena Sammat Vikram. Okay. It can be W or V. Okay, no problem. Okay. It's a singular name, right? So the British can't tell you how to use V or W. We can use anything we want. Okay. Understand what I'm saying? Okay. V or W. Wimaladharmasuriya, it can be V or W. Okay. Normally we use W. Okay. No problem. Both are same. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. Some books use W, some books use V. Doesn't matter. It's a singular name, right? It's a Sri Lankan name. The British can't dictate us on this. At least here. Okay. Then B. The Sitavaka ruler who invaded the Kandyan Kingdom in 1580. Rajasingha. The first, right? Yes. Who is also called Sitavaka Rajasingha. Okay. Rajasingha the first. C. The daughter of Karalya de Bandara who was baptized as Dona Katharina.
Kusumasana Devi.
Very good. Kusumasana Devi. So this is how you will write in your paper, right? You will write A, B, and C and write the answers. Okay, right. Now see how much we learned in the revision session helps you in answering these questions. That is why we do theory parts in our class, right? Not only papers. Let them give you any paper. We are ready for that because we have our theory parts in our heads now, right? Okay. State in order A, B, C, and D, the names used for. Okay, again, I'm telling you, if you were listening to this lesson properly, you can easily answer these questions. Oh, any question. The lands allocated for the use of King's Palace. What are those? What is the name for those lands allocated for the use of the King's Palace? What did we call them? Unmute, talk to them. What are those lands, Uday? Yeah. Or you don't know or you're scared to talk? Sorry.
Kabada.
Kabada. Yeah. Lands offered to the maintenance of the Buddhist temples.
Viharagam.
Remember very well, Kapadagam is the lands reserved for palace use. Okay, you can't forget this. Lands granted to aristocrats for their services. Nindagam.
Nindagam.
Lands offered to the maintenance of the Devalas.
Devalagam.
Devalagam. Answer these questions properly. Okay, right. Okay, there's another interesting question here. Like I said, that is why I took the time to explain about King Wimaladharmasuriya I. I took the time to do this when we were revising the theory parts. Now you must be able to understand and answer this question. Briefly explain two activities taken by King Wimaladharmasuriya I to establish his legal right to the kingdom of Kandy. How did King Wimaladharmasuriya I become the legal king of Kandy? Tell me two steps. There were three steps.
Marrying Kusumasana Devi.
Very good.
Marrying
Marrying Kusumasana Devi. Very good. Yes. Marrying Kusumasana Devi. So you had to explain this, okay? Marrying Kusumasana Kusumasana Devi. Okay, marrying Kusumasana Devi, you have to explain. Okay, King Wimaladharmasuriya I was not a member of the royal family. His father was Veerasundara Bandara. He was not a royal family member. Oh, he was not a royal. So, due to this, King Wimaladharmasuriya I had to marry Kusumasana Devi, who was the daughter of King Karalya Bandar, to prove his legal right to the throne in Kandy. You can explain this very beautifully like that. Okay, so that is one step he took to overcome his challenge of becoming the legal king of Kandy. Tell me another step that he took to overcome the challenge of becoming the legal king of Kandy. Embracing Buddhism and changing his name. Yeah, both go together. Okay, with embracing of Buddhism, he also changed his name to a Buddhist one, which is Wimaladharmasuriya. Now, under this, how can you say that? Okay, King Wimaladharmasuriya I was called Konappu Bandara. That was his childhood name. When he fled to the Portuguese for protection, he was converted to Christianity. He was converted to Roman Catholicism and was given a new name, Don Juan. So when he became the king of Kandy, he had to abandon Catholicism and embrace Buddhism because that was a requirement to become the legal king of Kandyan Kingdom. He also changed his name in the process to a Buddhist name, which is Wimaladharmasuriya I. Understand? You can explain that. Okay. There was another thing he did. And we have to write only two here. But we will also learn the other thing. Other step he took to be a legal king of Kandy. What is the other step? Yeah. Bringing, what Pute? Bringing the sacred tooth relic to Kandy. So it was a requirement. You can explain this that way. It was a requirement. In order to be a king in Kandyan Kingdom, you need to have the sacred tooth relic under your protection, or you need to have the custody of the sacred tooth relic. So when King Wimaladharmasuriya I came to power in Kandy, the sacred tooth relic was hidden in Delgamo Vihare. So King Wimaladharmasuriya I took steps to bring the sacred tooth relic back to Kandy. He also built the Dalada Maligaon in Kandy and placed the sacred tooth relic there, which made him the legal king of Kandy. Okay, so those are the things that you can say, but we only have to write two. You can choose any two of these and explain beautifully. Understand? Yeah. Okay. Chances are very high that Wimaladharmasuriya I, King Kirti Sri Rajasingha, King Rajasingha II, they might ask you to write about these three kings mainly. Okay. So you have to remember the points about these three kings. Who are the three kings? Wimaladharmasuriya I, Rajasingha II, and King Kirti Sri Rajasingha. Those three kings might come in your essay questions. Okay, so you have to remember what those kings did during their times and what significant events that took place and so on. Okay, and their services to the country. Okay, right. Okay, we will go to another question. 2017 question number 6. State respectively the river. What is the river which were important with regard to the security of Mahanuwara, the capital of Kandyan Kingdom? What is the river, Pute?
Mahavali.
Mahavali River. Very good. Mahavali River. Mahavali River. B. Two passes. Remember?
Balana.
Balana and
Unnasgiri.
Unnasgiriya. I told you at the beginning of this lesson, right? You were listening, I believe. Unnasgiriya. Okay. Here you go. Right. These are old papers, so they might come right this time also, and they might repeat because we have had enough papers now from this syllabus. This is the 8th paper, I think. Yeah, 8th one, right? 8th or 9th. So yeah, some questions might repeat. So make sure you learn everything. State respectively the persons associated with the events given below. Person and the event. Okay. The ruler of Kandyan Kingdom during the time of its invasion by the king Sitavaka Rajasingha. There's a typo here. Who was the ruler in Kandy when Sitavaka Rajasinghe invaded Kandy? With the help of who he invaded? Veerasundara
Veerasundara
Bandara. But who was the king in Kandy?
Bandara.
Who?
Don Juan.
In Kandy when Sitavaka Rajasinghe invaded? Why did
Karaliya
Veerasundara Bandara
Bandara.
help Sitavaka Rajasinghe?
Karaliya Bandara.
Like which king? Yes?
Karaliyadde Bandara.
Karaliyadde Bandara. Karaliyadde Bandara was a friend of the Portuguese. That is what made Veerasundara Bandara help Sitavaka Rajasinghe to dethrone him, right? Bandara. A is Karaliyadde Bandara. B, the ruler who originated a new dynasty in Kandy. Who is that? Sorry.
Wimaladharmasuriya first.
Wimaladharmasuriya the first, right? Yes. He is the one who initiated a new dynasty or originated a new dynasty. Wimaladharmasuriya the first. C. The leader of the Dutch mission who came to Kandy in 1602. We learned this in our grade 10 class. I will tell you here because we haven't under this happened under Wimaladharmasuriya the first, but we discussed this in unit number 10. So anyway, I will tell you that is the leader of the Dutch mission was Joris van Spilbergen. He is the first Dutch representative who came to Sri Lanka in 1602. Okay, under Wimaladharmasuriya the first. So Wimaladharmasuriya the first also wanted to get rid of the Portuguese. So he had some conversations with the Dutch. He got into communication. He came to know that the Dutch are looking to replace the Portuguese in Asia. And so he negotiated with the Dutch, and the first Dutch representative who came to Sri Lanka was Joris van R-I-S. Joris van. All these Dutch names, they have van in it. Okay. Spilbergen. Joris van Spilbergen is the first Dutch representative who came to Sri Lanka in 1602 and met with King Wimaladharmasuriya I. There was another Dutch admiral or navy officer who came to Sri Lanka in 1603 after Joris van Spilbergen. His name was Sebald de Weert. That is where an unfortunate event took place. Sebald de Weert had a party with Wimaladharmasuriya I. They were invited to a party, and there was some misunderstanding in this. And Sebald de Weert was drunk, and he insulted the king and his wife or his queen. So the king got into a scuffle, and the king Wimaladharmasuriya I ordered his guards to kill Sebald de Weert, who was the second Dutch representative who came to our country. The negotiations were going very, very well, but until this event. So the Dutch did not have communication with us after that until Rajasinghe II signed an agreement in 1638. So see, after 35 years, we had established communication with the Dutch again. Wimaladharmasuriya is the first king to establish communications with the Dutch officially. Joris van Spilbergen came. Discussions were very good, successful. Then Joris van Spilbergen left with the promise of coming back. He sent Sebald de Weert, but he got killed, unfortunately. So that is what happened. Okay, right. The Kandyan king who made a treaty with the Dutch in 1766. Who is this? I told you when we discussed this. Who is that?
Kirti Sri Rajasinghe.
Yeah, very good. Then there were two agreements between Kandyan Kingdom and the Dutch. One in 1638, the other one in 1766. Who signed an agreement with the Dutch in 1638? That is the first one. Rajasinghe II. Then the second peace deal, that was a peace deal that we had to get our kingdom back because the Dutch captured Kandy. So we had to get it back, and we had to sign a deal that favored the Dutch by giving them all the coastal control of all the coastal areas. So Kandyan Kingdom became like an enclave, like, surrounded by the Dutch ruling. Yeah, that happened under Kirti Sri Rajasinghe. right? Okay. And there's another interesting question here. You can see we already explained this. Explain with reference to two facts the manner in which the provincial administration of the Kandyan Kingdom was organized. Provincial administration of Kandyan Kingdom. How that was organized, Pute? Mainly, we have what? How the provincial administration was organized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly what we have, Pute? We can say, look, we can start by saying like the heads of provincial administration was the Adhikarams. And the provincial administration was mainly divided into ratas and disavas. Yeah. So you can talk about a few ratas. That's why I told you to remember a few examples. You can include those examples when explaining about ratas, how ratas were controlled, who are in charge of ratas. Give examples of ratas, Udunura, Yatinura, Tumpane. Give who are the officers in charge of ratas, Rate Ralas, Liana Rala, Undia Rala to support them. Talk about Adhikarams becoming like Adhikarams being the heads, Adhikarams being the fully responsible people when it comes to or in charge of provincial administration. Okay. Then next one you can write about Disavas. You can talk about Disaves who ruled Disavas. Give few examples: Nura Kalavi, Uva, Matale, Sabaragamu, Hatkorale, Hatarakorale. Give some examples like that. And tell that Disavas are divided into Corales. Corales are divided into Patus. Koralas were in charge of Corales. Then there were Vidanes who were in charge of villages. Muhandirams who were in charge of castes. You can write so much about this. No need to write everything. Just give enough points so that you can score maximum marks. Got it? Same thing here. See, same question that we described about social organization. Give examples for that. Yeah, like types of marriages. Then give examples for types of lands and stuff like that here. Okay, right. I believe you all can handle this now. Yeah, do you think you'll be able to handle this? Questions from Kandyan Kingdom. Yeah. So there will be some questions this year as well. There's no history paper in the country without questions from Kandyan Kingdom. So we have to be ready for questions from Kandyan Kingdom. Okay. It's very important. Right. Oh. Here. What does it say? Can you see this? Give a description of the type of marriages in the society of the Kandyan Kingdom. See how many marks here? 5 marks. Here, it doesn't say you have to write points, but you can write 3 paragraphs, no problem. You can write 3 paragraphs and explain the types of marriages, no problem. That will give you full marks. Without putting all of them in 1 paragraph, it's better to segregate. So what are the 3 types of marriages, Pute? Diga marriage, Binna marriage, and Ekagei camp. So you can explain this. What happens with the Diga marriage? Okay. And also you can include something like, only within the caste marriages were encouraged. Between caste marriages were discouraged. Additionally, you can add those points as well. Lastly, okay, right. That will make your answer complete and strong as well. Okay, right. Okay. Point out how agriculture and industries were organized during the period of Kandyan Kingdom. Easy now. See, under A, you can say agriculture. Already the topic is given. How agriculture was organized, you can say agriculture was aimed at becoming self-sufficient. And you can talk about paddy cultivation. Paddy cultivation was limited, but paddy was cultivated in a terrace form in Kandy due to the hilly nature of the land. You can talk about chaina cultivation, give some examples of the crops. Then talk about animal husbandry. And you can talk about industries, iron industry, steel industry, reed industry, and cotton industry. Those were at a developed state, and talk about those as well. Okay, various industries. Okay, yeah. So easy to answer. Yes. Oh, yeah. State 3 names. See, this is where we started our lesson, right? State 3 names which were used for the Kandyan Kingdom. Tell me now.
Kandy,
Kandenuvara, very good.
Senkadagalapura,
Venkatagala Rajadhani, very good. Udarata Rajadhani. Oh, Mahanuvara Rajadhani. You can use those, right? So, Kanda Udarata. Oh, Kandenuvara. Kanda Udarata Rajadhani, Udarata Rajadhani, Mahanura Rajadhani, Senkadagala Rajadhani. Easy to remember. Senkadagala Rajadhani, Mahanura Rajadhani, Kandenuvara. Easy to remember, right? You can remember those three. Okay. Might repeat. You never know. Be ready. Other questions, I believe you can easily answer. Yeah. We discussed this one. 2022, we discussed already. 2023, I'm not planning to discuss because chances are very low that they might repeat. Okay. But you can be ready. If you have any doubts, please ask. Okay. Let's see some MCQs before we say bye for a few minutes. I believe now you are strong when it comes to Kandyan Kingdom. We discussed all the important points today, and I believe you took some notes as well. So go through the tute and try to answer some questions. Okay. Select the incorrect statement regarding the Kingdom of Kandy. Okay. Let's do this. The king possessed the highest administrative and judicial powers in the country. The king was the chief justice. The king was the head of the country. This is correct or incorrect about Kandy? This is correct. Administrative, but we are looking for something incorrect, right? Okay. But this is correct, but this is not the answer. Correct about Kandy, but not the answer. We are looking for incorrect. Administrative activities were performed according to the ancient customs and tradition. This is correct. In Kandy, ancient customs and traditions were respected. Okay. So this was very important, right? Then social relations and marriages were based on caste system. Correct, Nobute? This is how the Kandyan Kingdom functioned. All citizens of the country were regarded equal under the law. This is wrong, Nobute. Under a monarchy, all citizens in the country are not equal. Why? Because aristocrats, elites, they have special privileges. So the aristocrats, elites, the Nilames, the Muhandirams, they had special powers, special privileges. Normal people or the general public would not enjoy those privileges. So not all the people were treated equally under a monarchy, under a king or in a kingdom. So this is the right answer. Okay. This is the right answer because of that. So this is wrong about Kandyan Kingdom. Okay. Right. Kandyan Kingdom was typically a kingdom, right? In a kingdom, there are classes of people, right? Like general public, the aristocrats, they have social powers, the monks, mainly the three social classes that we had: the general public, the chieftains or the aristocrats, and the monks. Yeah, the clergy. Okay, right. The clergy also had special privileges. Okay, yeah. Oops, something wrong. Okay. Okay, out of the following, which dynasty followed the tradition of giving the inheritance of kingship to the queen's brother when the king had no son? Which dynasty, Bute? Nayakar dynasty, right? Yeah, this typo here, so it's alignment problem. But Nayakar dynasty had the tradition of giving the kingship to the queen's brother. Yes, okay, right, good. Okay, that's an interesting question. We'll do this and say bye for today. Other MCQs you can do. If you have any question when you answer in these MCQs, if you have any doubts, please ask in the group. Okay, don't hesitate. Yeah, to ask in the group. Yes, if you have any doubts, okay, put the screenshot of the question and ask the answer. Okay, anytime. Yeah, I'm there to help because we cannot do everything in the class now. So we are only meeting once a week for 3 hours. So if you are studying outside of these hours, I know you are. You have doubts, anything, you can put in the group. Okay, no problem. Yeah, right. Or ask me personally also, no problem. Okay, right.
Only thing is your work you're uploading in the group, and I take some time to check it because I wanna read all of them properly. I want to give you proper feedback, so I take some time doing that. But small questions like this, I give answers immediately. Okay, yeah. If you have doubts or anything, I reply immediately. Okay, you know this one. Only the group I check when I have free time. But yeah, when I see those doubts, I clear them immediately. Okay, anytime in the day, no problem. I can do. Right. Answer the questions 24 and 25 with reference to the information to the historical events given below. Defeat in the Portuguese at the Battle of Danture. Now, when you know the kings that we learned today, all the kings, you will easily answer this question. Okay, that is the key point. Who defeated the Portuguese at the Battle of Danture? Putha, tell me the king. Yeah, King Wimaladharmasuriya. King Wimaladharmasuriya is the one who King Wimaladharmasuriya is the one who fought the Portuguese in two battles. That is the Battle of Danture and Battle of Balana. Okay, right. Wimaladharmasuriya the first. Okay, put the number because there was two Wimaladharmasuriyas, right? Okay. Then baptizing Kusumasana Devi in the name of Dona Katharina. When did this happen, Puthe? We can say during Karale de Bandara's time, like kind of when Karale de Bandara was expelled from the kingdom. Yeah. So Karale de Bandara, sorry. We can say Karale de Bandara for now. Okay. Okay. When did this happen? Inheritance of kingship of the Kandyan Kingdom to the Nayakar clan. This happened after Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh. Yes. Or Sri Vijayaraja Singh is the one. Okay. So you can put both of them. It happened after Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh, and it happened with Sri Vijayaraja Singh coming to power. Okay. Now let's write like this. Vijayaraja Singh, because this happened after the death of King Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh, right? Okay. So this is the king involved. This is the king who became the king, and the king got involved is Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh because he didn't have children. After his death, his throne went to the Nayakar family. Origin of Siamese sect in the country. When did this happen, Bute? When did Upali Telo come? Kirti Sri Raja Singh. So when you know the kings, now tell me which king ruled first and which king ruled last here. Who ruled first?
B.
Out of this one? B. Karale de Bandara ruled first. Next.
Wimaladharmasuriya.
Son. Okay. Next.
Sri Vijayaraja.
And 4. Right. Okay. So the order will be B, A, and C and D, right? Yes. So now we'll see the question. Now this is the importance of knowing all the kings in Kandy in order. I told you at the beginning of this lesson, the 13, the 14 kings that we learned should be remembered in order. Okay. It's very important. And the important events that took place under their lives are also important. When you know this, easy to answer any question. Let them give you any question, no problem. You know the theory, right? You know the points. Correct, no? B, A, C, and D, right. Who is the king connected to the historical incident letter in letter C? Here I would change the question if I had to because it's a little confusing. So here we will go with look, here we have two answers. We can either go with Sri Veera Parakrama Singh or Sri Vijayaraja Singh. But the king who is connected to the historical incident, the kingship was inherited from a Sinhala king to a Nayakar family, right? So if King Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh wasn't there, or if he had a kid, this wouldn't have happened, right? So the king who's connected to this is Sri Veera Parakrama Narendra Singh. We go with that. That is the best answer. Always go for the best answer. But this question is itself a confusing question. It's normal to have one or two questions like this who you might not understand also. So both answers are correct. You can argue.
But here, based on the circumstances, the best answer is number 1. Why? Because the king who is connected to this event is Sri Veera Parakramanaransinga. Because of him only this happened. He is the root cause. Why? He didn't have children, and he didn't have a son, and he was married to a Nayakar princess. That is the root cause. That is the connection here. So he is the one who's connected with the king, the throne in Sri Lanka or Kandyan Kingdom going to the Nayakar family. Okay, so we will go with that. Okay. Right. Few more questions, can we? Right. Best example to give for women's contribution in establishing or confirmation of the inheritance of kingship. Anybody? Exactly. Yes, very good. So that's a very good example here. Kusumasana Devi gave a very big example for us. That is, a lady can help or with the lady's support, you can become the legal king of Kandy. That is the case that happened for Wimaladharmasuriya I by marrying Kusumasana Devi, who is a royal member of the family, right? Okay. Right. Other questions you can answer easily, right? No big deal. If you have any doubts, please ask. That's it for today. We discussed many papers. I believe you can write essay type answers. I also explained. You can rewind the video and check. We will continue doing some hard work. Next week, we are going to finish unit number 9. And the week after that. So within 2 weeks, we are done with grade 10 stuff, right? We are in a very good position in the class. So the next few units, we will do like 5 units from grade 11, important units, target units. Then we will get into the exam. Remaining stuff we will cover when we have some extra classes and all. Okay. Right. Tikiri Bandara. Who is Tikiri Bandara? Tikiri Bandara is Rajasingha the First. His childhood name. Prince name is Tikiri Bandara. He became Rajasingha the First or Sitavaka Rajasingha. Okay. Target questions, Pute, I will upload. Okay. I'm writing them actually as we speak. So some of them I will take to the paper as well, mock paper. So some of them I want to save for the mock paper as well. So I'm not giving you everything. Like some of them are, secrets, right? Target questions, right? So they are properties. They are properties of the class of kings. I will give you when the time comes. Okay. Yeah. Any question, please ask after the class. Why are we writing the both topics in one? What both topics, Pute? You're talking about? Okay. I just saw the question. You can ask me if any doubts. Okay. Take care. God bless you. Good night. See you next week. Bye.
Good night, sir.
Bye. Bye. See.
Thank you, sir.
God bless. Bye. Bye.